Good evening and welcome to Indianapolis, Indiana here at Western Bowl. I'm Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com and I'm joined tonight by Doug Dukes from Kegel Corporation. Hello, Doug.
Hi, great to be here.
It is awesome to have you here because the condition that's being applied to the lanes this weekend is quite interesting, and we're going to get into that as that's why I have you in the booth right now. Doug from Kegel helped design the lane pattern, put this thing together with the fire and the ice oil, and we're going to look forward to see how these folks attack it. This is going to be our first look at it out on the lanes, so let's get started. How about we go to lanes? What do we got here? 65 through 68 up here in front of us right now. Looks like we've got Kyle Sherman on these pairs. We got Brad Miller, and we get a look to see how these players are beginning to attack this pattern. Could you take the folks at home, Doug, a little bit through this pattern, some of the distances, just some of the different things and the creation of this, what we're calling the Flying V pattern?
Well, it's 43 feet, about 26 mils. I taped it out yesterday, taped out at about 1.7 to 1, which is definitely very difficult when you're looking at sport ratios at 3 to 1. And the pattern's pretty flat from front to back. So it's going to be very difficult, especially with the wider loads down lane. Your tournament's always been known for kind of pushing bowlers a little bit right and making them play straighter, and we've always done some off-the-wall things, 2-2s down lane, wider loads down lane, so we brought out everything on this one.
Talk about fire and ice. I've seen these two oils used front to back in the past in different events. What's the idea here between having the fire and the ice oil out there?
Well, ice is a little bit slicker than fire. Obviously it's still oil and it's going to be slick either way, but when you're looking at how much it actually affects ball motion, ice is typically 4 to 6 boards tighter than fire. So we ran ice in the middle to kind of tighten the middles up, and because we have so many 2-2s on the reverse, we ran fire on the reverse to just give them a little bit of friction on the outside.
Scoring pace for this event, you do a lot of PWBA events, you're involved with a lot of different events. What would you say, scoring pace, moderate, low, what would you classify this one?
Low to the lower side of moderate.
Is it fair to say that the jury is still out on this pattern?
It is. It's going to be interesting to see. Obviously for your tournament, you always have some high caliber bowlers. We have Waka bowling on this squad and a couple others that I saw, Matt Gasson. And I think those players are going to attack it properly. So it'll be interesting to see what they do and how they break the lanes down, but it's definitely a shot maker's pattern.
And in the past, we've had a lot of shot makers bowl well in this event. Our inaugural year, we had Jake Peters, a shot maker, win the event. Danny Spink, same classification. He won the second year. The third year of our event, as I'm looking back at it now, I believe that was the year Bill O'Neill won, and he's quite the shot maker as well. Year number 4 was Matt McNeil, who's a shot maker from the left side of the lane. Year number 5, we had Kyle Troop win the event, who is a two-hander, but he keeps his angles tight in front of him. And then last year, we saw none other than Rob Gottschall, who's also a shot maker, win the event. We've had some folks that go left to right quite a bit and try to curve it a lot. Enter the event over the years, some really big names as well, but they've struggled on this pattern, or on a pattern that we've had in the past. So be interesting to see what happens. You see Kurt Pylon up on lane 67. It's good to see Kurt back out bowling. He has a professional tour title, took a year off bowling, and he supported our events for a long time. And I want to thank Kurt and the folks from Michigan coming down and participating in the event. So yeah, shot making again should be kind of the recipe for success for these players. You don't want to overfire the ball in this pattern, and you certainly want to make sure you release it the same way every time. Does that sound about right?
Well said.
Talking it over here with Doug Dukes from the Kegel Corporation. Doug, I also can't thank you enough with all the events you guys are involved with. You guys are involved with 50-something events a year that you go out and put down the lane condition, you supply the lane machines. I can't thank you enough for making this event one of your stops. And thanks for driving in with your vehicle and the 2 flex machines.
Well, we definitely like to support you. You definitely run a good event, and it's actually good to be here. I love these centers, and especially coming to Indy. Royal Pin is it's a great organization.
They do a really nice job here. That is for sure. Kurt Pelon now up, throwing at a 4.6. He started with the first 3 in a row. If you're still looking to get in the event, you can. We do take walk-ins. This is the A squad. We'll have B squad tomorrow morning at 8 a.m. We'll have the C squad at 1:30 p.m. And then the D squad Saturday night at 7 p.m. Top 32 bowlers will come back Sunday morning to bowl 4 more additional games. And then we'll cut to the top 12 with all of the pinfall carrying over. You can re-enter in this event. And then at 7 o'clock Eastern, we will have our stepladder finals for you, with the top 5 competing for the top prize of $10,000. Now, Logo Infusion, the title sponsor of this event, Ken Keegan and Brandon Allred are both here on site this weekend. And Ken's going to join me in a booth a little bit later once Doug heads off to the hotel, because he's got to get up early tomorrow morning. Watch a little ball reaction here today, and then head off to the hotel, maybe grab a little food, and then be back in the morning to oil the lanes. So Logo Infusion this weekend. If you want to support Logo Infusion for supporting us, and you're looking for a real nice jersey or just some of the different products that they have, you can head over to their website at logoinfusion.com, and you can save 20% with coupon code IBOPEN17. That's right, IBOPEN17. You save 20%. I believe that's through the end of the month. We'll talk to Ken about that when he comes and joins us in the booth here a little bit later. Also want to thank our friends over at Ebonite International for supplying bowling products at a discounted rate so we could pass it on to the bowlers and add a little added value to our event. Of course, Ebonite International, the makers of Columbia 300, Ebonite brand, Hammer, and Track brands. So thank you to the folks at Ebonite International. So what are you seeing out there, Doug? What do you see so far? I don't see a whole lot of striking.
No, I see one person that hasn't missed yet out of all the lanes that are running. So it definitely looks tough. The guys that are swinging the balls aren't, this isn't a pattern where you want to start in. I can definitely tell you that. It's not a pattern you want to get comfortable with either. I see a lot of these guys throw a double or 3 in a row and get a little comfortable, and then the next one's out the window.
I'm waiting to see one of my cohorts here to see if I can't get a squad list from them with all the players on the different lanes, because we did have a lot of walk-ins here tonight. I can tell you some of the folks that I see that are here in the building. I see a Bill Crane. He's a local here. I just saw Greg Young walk through the door. He's not bowling here tonight, but Aaron Lawrence is bowling tonight. Daryl Ratliff is here tonight. Brad Miller, Kyle Sherman, C.J. Kirchner. I see Jimmy Cook is bowling here tonight. Matt Gasson, Jackie Carbonetto. I'm already seeing some shoes flying. Take a look at Brad Miller here. Bowls out on the tour, bowls a lot of high-end events. He's kind of playing what I call the tube, the 15 to 10 range. Don't miss right though, Brad.
No, definitely not.
If you miss left, you should see hold or going light on the pocket. What would you think a urethane ball would do to this?
Actually, I think urethane wouldn't be a bad choice down the outside. It's all going to be about who they follow, though. I mean, it's going to be a great ball to start with. Just how long it lasts is a question, and where you go from there.
A lot of 2-pins at the IB Open and 2-pin combinations each year.
Definitely.
Also, I want to give a shout out as he walks by the desk right here, right where we are. here at Western Bowl, Mark Schock. He does a great job bringing a lot of big events to Western Bowl and the Royal Pin Bowling Center operation. Just a tremendous group of people, and we can't thank them enough for hosting the event this year. Kyle Sherman throwing at a 3.610. Doug, what's coming up for you here in the near future? I know you and I had just got done conversing at a live stream event about a month ago at Vanderbilt University there in Nashville. But what's on the forefront for you?
Basically the tour. I will leave this event, and I have a couple things that I have to do for Kegel service work wise out in the field. And then I will start my tour swing with the PWBA in Wichita at North Rock. That'll be the 1st of June. And I'll have Wichita, Nebraska, Detroit, Bowl Expo. I think I have one after that, and then I head off to Europe for a tournament in Munich, the World Bowling Seniors, and a few more events after that.
When you say the tour, you mean the PWBA tour?
Correct, yes. Which actually started today out on the West Coast.
Yeah, who's out there doing that currently?
Bud Dashew, another Kegel employee that we have that actually lives on the West Coast. He'll have all four, well, he'll have the 3 stops in California.
I'm going to switch you over to our other pairs, lanes 61 through 64. See Bill Crane here from the Indianapolis area. Bill had 4 in a row until we switched the cameras over to him. It's pretty par for the course around here. I'm working on another shot for you guys at home. Just give me just a second on that. See if you can see a little more ball reaction out there. I tried it at the last event we were at, and it was a smashing success. There you go. We'll give you all the lanes we have in front of us right now for you. Game number 1, A Squad qualifying 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. Mike and Doug Dukes from Kegel Corporation here with you. And as we look around at the scores, seen a lot of sub 200 games out there. I do have a squad list now. We have Eric Bader, Brant Parkin, Sam Bratton, Jackie Carbonetto, Mike Kahn, Jimmy Cook, Bill Crane, Matt Gasson, Scott Gilmore, Mike Haggett, Daniel Hochstein, Charles Kirby, CJ Kirchner, Aaron Lawrence, Brad Miller, Steve Pennington, Kurt Pelon. I just have a last name here, Prizaki. I I don't know why I don't have the first name in here. Maybe it doesn't fit with the length of the name, but Dale Ratliff, Jordan Richard, Norman Russ, Matthew Sanders, Kyle Sherman, Zach Tackett, EJ's brother, Kevin Walter, and Dave Watka. 26 bowlers on the squad. Okay. I saw you guys in the chat talking about it's a little difficult to read the scoreboards. And they can't change the color at this point in time. So we will, I will see how I can maybe potentially work on that for you guys. The rest of the tournament will have 2 bowlers on each lane. Tonight, just 1 bowler on each lane. And the players all had the opportunity to sign up for any squad that they wanted to. So if anybody bowls tonight and bowls really well with the faster pace of play, well, that was the option everyone had. So it's completely up to you on when you want to bowl. Bring you back to full screen here. We'll check in on the scores here. Lanes 65 and 66, 67 and 68. Brad Miller seems to have a pretty good look to the pocket now.
He does, and he's, I don't want to say he's playing them tight, but he's really not, not swinging it a lot. I think that's going to be the key on this pattern. It's a nice spare.
He yelled at that one, and he still got a strike.
Got it.
That's pretty funny. Brad, you always know how he's how he's doing out there on the lanes. And just through his body reactions. Kyle Sherman with a pretty good shot there. Mr. Doyle. Cameron Doyle's dad is here. One of the nicest guys in bowling.
No question.
Really enjoy talking things over with him. We will check in on the chat now. It's always interesting when we first get started with these broadcasts, trying to see just how things are going to play out and get ourselves situated in the bowling center here at Western Bowl. 80 lanes total in the bowling center. We're using the high end here. Want to say hello to Josh Connors and Epic Bowling Dude 3. We miss you, Mr. McNeil. Hello from the Vise. Hello to you. What ball is Brad throwing? Let me see if I can find that out some way, somehow here. Well, he's kind of walking away from me at the moment. I will try to find out. I see that Kyle Sherman just went and grabbed a Scandal. I do know that much. Hey, Jerry, can you find out what ball Brad Miller's throwing? Somebody wants to know. He was just asked a question. It took him a while to figure it out. It's a Revolt Havoc. To anybody that's watching, that's what Brad is using right now. It looks purple in color. Okay, so I was just informed that the screen colors will change after every game. So hopefully some of the other colors will be easier for you to see at home. I know tomorrow will be easier when they have more than one on a lane. Kyle Sherman with a 10 pin there is going to be in the 170s. Timmy! Oh my God. I didn't know Timmy Mack was going to come by.
Let's go, man.
It's great to see you, man. Yeah. Got all kinds of all-stars here in the building, Doug.
It's bowling town.
So a trial shot there for Kyle Sherman. He's in bowl 171. Brad Miller with a possible 258 left, it looks like.
See what Mr. Miller does.
Over on the pair next door, we've also been watching Kurt Pelon. Bowler here on lane 67 is Pryzoski. I don't have a first name on him. Bring in both screens at once here. Did have a request in the chat to see how Bill Crane was doing. Looks like Bill Crane's going to be in the 220s or 230s if he throws a second strike here in the 10th. Bill Crane is crossing with Daniel Hochstein. Hochstein had 145. Just underway here at the Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Mike Flanagan and Doug Dukes with you here, bringing you game number 1 action. Coming up here, game number 2, I'm going to bring in Ken Keegan from Logo Infusion to spend some time and talk here in the booth. And nice conversion there on 67.
Was.
So, Doug, after watching one game of competition, which is not a big sample size whatsoever, what do you think would be a nice score for 7 games on this?
Oh, that's a loaded question.
It
man.
is. It's an unfair question. I wouldn't ask it to anyone other than you.
It'll be interesting. I mean, I think your cut line's obviously going to be plus, but I'd really have to look at a roster sheet for the tournament to see what I think the cut's going to be.
Okay. Fair enough. I won't put you quite that much on the spot.
Yeah, don't put me quite on the spot. Not on the internet.
Okay, looks like that's going to do it for game number 1. Doug, I'd like to thank you for coming in and sitting in the booth with me.
No problem. It's always a pleasure, and I'm going to go get my hotel and get some sleep so I can
Awesome.
come back early in the morning.
Hopefully we can have you back at the beginning of each day and talk about the lane pattern a little bit and see how it's playing.
Yep, no worries. Appreciate it, Mike. Thanks.
Hopefully you'll tune in tonight and take a look at some of the scoring pace here. So,
We'll see.
Thanks, Doug.
Thanks.
That's Doug Dukes from Kegel joining me here in the booth in game number 1, as we like to do. We like to get the guy that applies the pattern, put it out there for you, and we'll bring you into game number 2. Looks like got Jackie Carbonetto coming into your screen. Matt Gasson, and so on. Thanks, Doug. Appreciate it. Ken, come on down. Yep, just grab that guy right there. Whichever side you like better. And in the wonderful world of broadcasting, we do this really cool thing where you take this and you sling it over the shoulder and you just look that much cooler. So I'm going to bring it in right now. Mike Flanagan here, now joined by Ken Keegan. I think it's the first time you and I have been in the booth together.
It is.
So that's cool. I think it's cool.
I think it's cool just to be here.
I know that you've sent Brandon, the last couple of years. Brandon obviously doing all your marketing for you, in charge of events and things like that. But Ken with Logo Infusion here is the founder, you and your wife Kathy, located in Las Vegas.
That is correct.
And it is so awesome to actually have you at the event this year.
Well, yeah, it's year 3, and I finally made it. So I kept my promise to you. So.
You really did. You really did. And I kept my promise that basically I'm going to train you how to do all this up here, and I'm going to go watch the St. Louis Blues game in about 10 minutes. But no, that's not true at all. We're here in game number 2 here at beautiful Western Bowl here in Indianapolis, a new venue. It's a nice place, isn't it?
It is a nice center, and I want to thank Mark and his crew for hosting this. This is a great bowling center. I was here last summer for a junior event before Junior Gold, and this is a class act here.
Certainly is. Oh wow, we had a nice balk there.
A false start there.
Thank you very much. Got lane assignments here. It's perfect.
And then wherever who's who and where they're at.
That's absolutely right. It's pretty important to success here. We've got a lot of thunderstorms here this weekend. I'm hearing thunder in the building here.
Well, it looked like it was going to rain all day, and,
Yeah.
and then all of a sudden the sky just opened up.
If you're just joining us, we're here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Joel McLeod here in the chat. And want to let you know that if any of you have any questions here in the chat, you're more than welcome to ask them. We'll try to keep up with the chat as much as we can. John Brocklin asked, my good buddy John, what's the surface there in Indy compared to Tropicana and St. Louis? Notable the cutback on the milliliters and the width of the pattern. It's a Brunswick Pro Anvilane surface, and there is about 7 to 8 less milliliters of oil on the lane compared to what we've ran the last few years at Tropicana. Higher friction, SPL lane surface there. There's kind of a rule. I was talking to Harvey Johnson earlier, and he said that the darker the wood finish on the lanes, the more it hooks, it seems. And this is one of the lighter ones. You've got the Brunswick Pro Anvilane, and Brunswick Pro Anvilane, one of the slickest lanes that are out there. It requires less oil to be put down on the lanes. As we bring you in all of our bowlers that we have here in front of us, lanes 61 through 68. So not a bad start, Bill.
Just trying to make decent shots. And,
What'd you start with 220? Did you get 220? Bill Crane just came up, hung out in the booth for a second, shoots 220. So he's happy with that. What do you see from the lane so far, Ken? The oil pattern that's put out there, the flying V.
Well, definitely straighter is greater, and on the outside part of the lane. Definitely some weaker type of balls, and all I'll tell you that is that weaker cores. I think stronger surfaces and stronger drillings are going to be the right thing here. Any kind of overreaction in the back is no good.
Yeah, you definitely need a controlled ball reaction down lane Very, very slick oil pattern. It'll be interesting. I wonder if we'll even have a 300 game, at this event. They come at a premium here.
I would imagine with the quality of bowlers that you have, I'm gonna put money on one. You're
One.
gonna have one of them.
Okay, we'll set the over/under at a half, and Ken is booking the over.
And then I'm gonna sweeten the deal here.
Okay.
That person is not going to make it for Sunday.
Uh-oh.
So it's going to be one of those 300s.
Okay, I get it.
I've seen a few tournaments in my life.
Yes, you have.
And-
You've bowled a few, too.
Yeah.
Ken, let's talk a little Logo Infusion. It was a few years ago I called you and we had a conversation about sponsoring the event, and you were totally on board right away. And we've had a great partnership, and now we're even involved with doing some things with your business, with some of the marketing stuff, social media things and like that. And we've got a great relationship. But what is it that that Logo Infusion feels is important in bowling, and why sponsoring this sort of an event?
Well, I mean, this is a brand new venture for us, and meaning that creating the jerseys and actually getting involved in the marketing side of the business. We have a pro shop chain in Las Vegas that we've done a lot of marketing there, but it's a totally different kind of marketing, and so we have to pick and choose our opportunities, and really at the end of the day, I'm a relationship person, so I still remember you reaching out to me and telling me the things that you wanted to do and your vision of trying to help bowling, and really that's why I was on board. A lot of the events that we sponsor are related to junior bowling, high school, college type stuff, because at the end of the day I'm trying to do whatever I can to help rebuild what's kind of been lost. But I'm real big on aligning myself with like-minded people, and you think outside the box, and we got a lot of good ideas. And at the end of the day, I think your heart's in the right spot. So it wasn't a tough decision. So if I remember correctly, like you were talking one amount, and I'd offered more, something like that.
Yes,
so that's,
you did.
You're the only person I've ever done that for.
Well, and you're the only person I've ever heard do that.
So, but for me, it's a lot about feel. I've been in and around the bowling industry this is my 26th year, and so I started drilling bowling balls around the more in the height of bowling, and I've watched it decrease over time. And at the end of the day, I want to retire from this industry, and I'm not looking to retire real soon. So. Just trying to give back where I can, and like I said, this is a lot about relationship, and and obviously, these are bowlers that bowl a lot of tournaments all over the country, all over the world, and obviously, being a sponsor of an event like this gives us that opportunity to get some of our jerseys out there.
Mm-hmm.
We also have a lot of staffers, a lot of our regional and national staffers that'll be at this tournament this weekend.
Yep.
So I like the format, and as far as it's open to everybody. And I'm glad to see that there's less conflicts this year than there has been in the past.
There are no conflicts this year with that, so that's nice. Yeah. I mean, you could say the PWBA tour started a week early, and you see Jackie Carbonetto actually up on our screen right now. She has a full-time job with Ebonite International, is going to bowl a limited tour schedule. Jackie, a good friend of mine, and being sponsored by Ebonite International, her coming out to bowl the event. Really cool that she's here and participating. There won't be a whole lot of ladies at this event, but Jackie's one of the best ones that we'll have. And you talked about your staff, as a matter of fact. Here in the chat right now, Christopher Hester checking in saying, "Hi, gang. See you all tomorrow afternoon."
Yeah. Hello, Chris. We'll see you tomorrow. It'll be good to see you.
We also will be updating our standings.
Yeah, Chad Roberts.
Yeah, Chad Roberts in there as well.
He's one of our staffers.
On InsideBowling.com, we will have updated standings on our event information tab on InsideBowling.com. You'll be able to check that out. We'll be uploading the scores for you throughout, so we should have scores up after game number 1 here very quickly. Talking it over with Ken Keegan here in the booth. I'm Mike Flanagan. Just getting started this weekend. We've got 4 total squads. 26 tonight. I would anticipate we'll end up with 40 to 50 tomorrow morning. Put us around 75 or so. And then the last 2 squads can take just over 100 bowlers. They're going to try to give us a few more lanes. So we should come in between the 250 and 300 entry mark, which is just a real testament to how alive tournament bowling is today. There's a lot of options out there. I was just talking 7 years ago when we started this event. You know, the PWBA Tour didn't exist. The Proprietors Cup wasn't in existence. Not even, 6, 7 events like he runs now. 11thframe.com Open. A lot of different events. PBA really stepping up with the Extra Frame Tour. And this is one of many great events throughout the country. We're proud to have it. And we're also proud to just see how well the tournament scene has really grown over the years. Chad Murphy and the folks at USBC have done a really nice job. And the PBA has really been doing a nice job. The ratings are up, so things on the tournament scene are really good.
That's for sure. And I know that there's a lot of folks out there who want to be negative about things. And what I would say is that, there's a lot of people in the bowling industry that have pretty much dedicated their life to, everything about it. And, their families depend on it and everything. And just a friendly ask. I just ask that everyone, try to be positive about what's going on under. I know there's a lot of things changing, and not everyone agrees with everything, but there's a lot of things that fit together with all this. And I talk to a lot of people, and no one has the answer. So at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of people just working hard, all going in the right direction. And there's some good thunder right there.
Absolutely is some good thunder out there.
Shaking the building.
I do have a standings update after game number 1. Leading the tournament is Kevin Walter. He bowled 247. Second is Brad Miller. We saw it right here in front of us, bowled 237. Scott Gilmore is third at 235. Matthew Sanders is fourth with a 230 game. Matt Gasson fifth with 222. Tied with Eric Bader. Bill Crane bowled 220 on the nose. He sits seventh. Steve Pennington in eighth at plus 19. Ninth is Daryl Ratliff at plus 13, and C.J. Kirchner in 10th at plus 12. Currently right now we do have 12 players plus. Jackie Carbonetto and Aaron Lawrence also plus. And the rest of the 26 bowlers are all struggling a little bit on the pattern and bowling sub 200 to start.
Well, hopefully they'll move right or move left. Move right if you're right-handed, move left if you're left-handed.
Absolutely.
So. But I do see a couple of players already kind of migrating in, so it's interesting. What's the total mills on this?
Just over 26 mils.
Okay. And the length?
43 feet.
Okay.
I'm actually going to work on that right now. I think that would be a good thing to put up on the screen. That up there.
Have we told anyone about our the benefit? One of the benefits we've added to the tournament as far as purchasing some jerseys.
We have not, nor have we talked about the extra. Well, first of all, we've got the coupon code, and then we've got the specialized $2,000. You want to take everybody through that?
Yeah, this year we decided to add a bonus prize fund for the first place prize. If you are wearing a Logo Infusion jersey during the entire competition and you win the tournament, there's an extra $2,000 added to the price to the last check. So that's a new feature this year.
Yes, it is. And we can't thank you enough for that. It's a really cool deal there. And it's a great way for people to support the sponsors. We say hashtag support the sponsors around here. Give you incentive to do so. And also you make great products. And you've also got a coupon code out there, IBOPEN17. IBOPEN17. You save 20% through the end of the month. I know you guys have a lot of traffic to your website these days. A lot of people are taking advantage of the jerseys, and you're involved with so many different events. You're really becoming the preferred supplier of athletic jerseys in bowling.
Well, yeah, I don't know. Obviously we don't know how much or what the competition is doing business-wise, but we're certainly busy and getting busier. We've added quite a few things to our repertoire this year. So we got junior gold and USBC staff jerseys. So it's kind of cool to go to the Open Championships and see everyone, all the USBC employees wearing our jerseys. We also recently finalized a deal with the TNBA, so we're the national merchandiser for them. We sponsored numerous groups and tournament clubs around the country. So yeah, there's a lot going on, and we're one of the only, if not the only, jersey company in bowling that actually manufactures their own jerseys. So everything from obtaining the sale to shipping out the product, we handle 100% of that within our manufacturing facility in Las Vegas. So there's always a challenge of growth, like anything, if you're doing well, if people hear you're doing well, they think everything's great, but there's a lot of challenges to that appearance of being great. So I will humbly say that we're busy. We have a couple other companies out there that are doing a great job too, and you see the results out on the lanes. And I think that there's a tremendous opportunity for all jersey companies that are out there. I think there's a very small percentage of bowlers that are currently wearing the jerseys. I think there's parts of the country I think they might not even know that it exists. And I'm always thinking about the 70 million people that bowl that just want to have a good time. They all have to have something to wear.
Absolutely.
So so we're working on a lot of things all the time. And our online being online with the website and social media, that's all real important stuff. And I'm approaching a half century in age, so social media is not that's not an obvious thing to me. So, but I'm going with it. Brandon Allred's our marketing director, and he understands a lot more than I do about this. And obviously with the help with you and your team at Inside Bowling, I think we're making an impact. I think we're getting a lot of cool stuff out there. We recently filmed a video going through our facility. So I encourage everyone to go to the Logo Infusion Facebook page, and if you got 7 minutes you want to kill, you can watch me walk through the facility and talk about how the process works. A lot of people think it's magic. We get a lot of questions like, why does it take so long? Watch the 7-minute video, and you'll have a better idea of how much is involved in producing a jersey.
There's a lot to it. You're watching game number 2. Mike Flanagan here with you, joined by Ken Keegan from Logo Infusion here in the booth on this Friday night squad. We got 26 bowlers out there on the lanes. You're watching this game number 2 coming to a conclusion. The pace of play will be pretty quick here tonight. Just a bowler on each lane. Give us an opportunity to go grab a snack and come back in the morning at 8 a.m. for B squad qualifying. Another 7 games. We'll also have C squad qualifying at 1:30, and then of course we'll also have the D squad qualifying at 7 o'clock, and then we'll cut to the top 32 bowlers. Come back Sunday morning at 8 a.m. And they will bowl 4 more games with all pins carrying over, trying to get into the top 12. Then round robin match play, of course, and then a step ladder finals at 7 o'clock. Glad you're with us. Thanks for participating in the chat and participating in everything we do here at Inside Bowling. We just recently have had one of our videos begin to go viral that we posted about a month ago, Matt Tomsu, where I was actually the 2-pin, fell over and then stood back up. And just recently, if you go to the YouTube sports section and look up bowling, out of the top 4 videos, we have 2 of them.
Wow, that's awesome.
The other 2 top ones, you may have seen the story, the guy that bowled a 300 game in a record time.
Yep.
That's also trending in the top 4. And then Jason Belmonte's Dude Perfect video, which sits at 62 million views, and then it's us, the next 2. So we're in 2 of the top 4, and you just recently made noise by signing Jason Belmonte.
Yeah, it's a very interesting thing. with our status, in the bowling industry, where the PBA has an exclusive contract with another Jersey company. Of course, you sign, arguably best bowler in the world, and everyone thinks that we're going to be producing jerseys out there, and that's not the reason why we've gotten involved with Jason. He has a lot of we share a lot of like-minded things. Family man, and supports his sponsors, and for me, just recently meeting him, very 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 cool individual. His heart is 100% into helping the sport of bowling and moving it forward, and we are going to do what we can to help him build his brand, and it's a new thing, and we're like, I keep telling everyone in our team, this is like pioneering. It's almost like we're going over a mountain. We have no idea what's on the other side of it. So it's we're trying to find the best path to get over there and just tackle things one at a time. But we've signed a couple of high-profile bowlers recently. Jason being one of them. Chris and Linda Barnes have joined our team. The Tang brothers, Michael and Darren, have joined our team, along with some other folks who've been on our team for quite a while. Carol Doran Ballard and Leanne Olsenberg.
How many staffers are you up to now, Ken?
We are around 100 that we have.
That's a bunch.
It is. So it's a lot to manage.
What was the reasoning for getting into the apparel business? I mean, you were running pro shops in Las Vegas, do an excellent job at that, and then boom, it's just time to get into the apparel business? I know you do some embroidery too, and a lot of people don't really realize that.
Right. Well, we started K&K Bowling Services in 2000, and we were pretty aggressive in the Las Vegas market with T-shirts and embroidered apparel, and the vendor that we were using at the time, the gentleman that was actually running that business in early 2008, approached me about getting involved in apparel. Just simply because of all the self-promotion we were doing, he felt that there was a small business there in itself. So we brought him on board. We started a new company, originally called K&K Embroidery Services, and so we do embroidery in house, corporate. A lot of the stuff that we do is corporate, but we do also do a lot of bowling embroidery. That industry is part of the promotional products industry, so we can actually produce any product that you can imagine putting a logo on. Through a network of about 6,000 vendors. So if you fast forward to 2009, we were offered the opportunity to run the Ebonite International booth at the Open Championship, and so that year was in Las Vegas. So it was good for us because we're based in Las Vegas, and we decided to continue to operate that. And in 2011. The dye sub market was very fresh at that time. There wasn't a lot going on with that, and we found a vendor in this promotional products industry that made these dye sub shirts. So we decided to bring them into the Ebonite International booth, and we started selling them. And we were already doing some business with numerous pro shops around the country, just because of having been in the business so long. I know a lot of people in the industry, so we were already doing a lot of business. So we started selling some dye subs, and we started getting a little pushback with us being K&K, because at the end of the day,
you're a competitor.
Pro shops see that as being a competitor, even though we might not be in the same market or anything. So the original name of the company was going to be Logo Infusion, and there was a lot of discussion back in 2008 when we started the company, and kind of the vote at the time was to stick with the K&K name, so we did. But we've changed the name of the company to Logo Infusion. And so anyway, so we got involved in the dye sub part of as far as selling dye subs, And the quality of the shirts that we were selling were okay. It wasn't great. At that time, there wasn't a lot of offerings out there, so there wasn't really anything to compare to. And then as other companies came out, and people got a feel for different fabrics and everything, we chose to try different vendors. And so at the end of the day, we dealt with several vendors that were overseas, a couple that were stateside. And no one could really seem to either print the shirts correctly, sew them correctly, produce the order correctly. And I'm a strong believer in, if you're going to do it right, you just do it yourself. So my wife and I invested a substantial amount of money and brought it in-house, and we didn't know exactly how it all worked. We had never sewed a shirt before. But we work hard and we're diligent. And we ask a lot of questions, and so we started sewing shirts right at the beginning of 2014, and we sew a lot of shirts. That's all I'm going to say. So it's growing, and it's exciting, and I think I think there's a lot of opportunities out there. So I don't, from my standpoint, I always get questions about our competition, and competition's good because it keeps you checked, but I have no ill will or angst towards any competing company. At the end of the day, I mean that's just part of a free market.
Yeah, they build Home Depot next to Lowe's all the time.
Yeah, so I mean that's just part of it is. But the bowling industry is an interesting industry that. If you're in the same business and you're walking down the concourse, people find a way to run into the snack bar, into the restroom, down onto the lanes. So, for all my competitors out there, I have no issue having a conversation. At the end of the day, we both might learn something and might help each other do something better for the industry.
Absolutely.
Because everyone's donating their time and their efforts and investing money into tournaments like this, and at the end of the day, I think all of us want bowling to be more healthy. And at the end of the day, I'm a strong believer of working together, we can do that. So I'm not interested in sharing trade secrets, but at the end of the day, like there's some things that work and some things that don't work, and I'm a family man, and the last thing I ever like to see is a company not doing well or failing, and people lose their job because of that. So at the end of the day, I think that there needs to be a little bit more working together in this industry. Everyone knows each other. Let's work together a little bit better, and compete at the same time, but it doesn't have to be so. I don't know what the word is for it, but
cutthroat.
Okay, there's a word.
We're coming into game number 3 here. We're going to update our graphics, switch over to a new pair of lanes 61 and 62, lanes 63 and 64. And it looks like we have Dave Wodka, who's also been very instrumental in arranging this agreement here to come to this bowling center here at Western Bowl, along with Kevin Walter, who was your leader after game number 1. Kevin opened with a game at 247. And also, you see on your screen on lanes 63 and 64, Mike Kahn and Sam Bratton come into your screen. Also, the other pair that we have covered for you, Mike Haggett, Scott Gilmore, Eric Bader, and Parkin Brandt. I believe that's right. Let me see. Josh Brandt Parkin is the name on my sheet. I'm going to bring in all lanes at once. We'll stack them up for you. Also here in the chat, Justin Knowles, who won the Bradley Open this year, says, "Hi, Ken. Any jerseys available on site? I've had 2, but I think I outgrew one. Ha ha."
Yeah, we brought some inventory from Las Vegas, so we have we're supporting the sponsors here. So we have some Columbia, Ebonite, and Hammer branded jerseys, and we also have some Logo Infusion branded jerseys here on site. I think the pricing is $35 to $40 a jersey, so it's trying to help everyone out and give them a good deal. We're also taking orders for if you're interested in putting together a jersey from our website using one of our backgrounds. I believe the special is $60. and you can get any logos added to your name added to it. I believe that they include shipping. I'll have to find that out. So next time I'm on, I sound more intelligent.
Okay.
So.
Well, that's what you got. That's what you got Brandon here for. So game number 3 here, just getting started. Take a look at the way Dave Watka's attacking this pattern.
I've watched Dave Watka bowl a lot over the years. He was a resident of Las Vegas for several decades. So, good friend of mine.
Super guy.
So, he was telling me earlier he went from having to drive more than 4 hours to go to any other tournament outside of Vegas to he never drives more than 4 hours here in the Midwest. So it's I grew up on the West Coast, and I've lived there all my life. And if you drive three hours from Vegas, you're in the desert. So there's nothing within 3 hours of Vegas, barely 4 by the time you get traffic in LA. So
Yes, you are.
So it's a different for me. It's a different experience here when you can drive from city to city, and all the bowlers here. That's great. This live stream thing is cool. You got a lot of people bowling here. So if you think that you want to come down and bowl and you can drive here, there's some entries that are here. At the very least, you can get on the live stream. People
Yes,
will be
you
able to
can.
see. This is your 15 minutes of fame to be on TV. Come on down. Bring your jersey.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting. Yeah, absolutely. It's gonna be interesting to see how many bowlers we do end up with. Got a lot of bowlers signed up for tomorrow. That's for sure.
That's good. Any idea on the weather forecast for tomorrow?
Thunderstorms all weekend.
All right. That's awesome. How about around 9 o'clock on Sunday? Any thunderstorms that I'm going to have to fly around?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Continue to roll along here. Ken Keegan from Logo Infusion, Mike Flanagan here with you at the 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. I want to thank the Brands of Ebonite International as well for supplying the bowling balls and sponsoring the event here at our new facility here. Moved the tournament this year here to Western Bowl here in Indianapolis.
Looks like there's still a good shot outside. Just watch Jackie Carbonetto. Looks like she's throwing a gauntlet, playing pretty straight outside. Another strike for her. This looks like the interesting time that if you want to start moving in a little bit, you better not miss left.
Absolutely. Otherwise, you will go light.
Well, if you miss left, it looks like you might have the big 4. But yeah, there is some. There is a lot of 210 action out here too.
We got a lot of chatter happening here on the concourse, if you can hear that coming through.
The famous bowlers right in front of us.
Yeah. I think I'm going to grab one of them.
I was going to say it.
You stay right
You're
here.
going to give me the boot?
No, you're staying.
Oh, okay. All right.
Just go over there on the end. If you need a chair, grab it out of the thing.
I'll hang out, watch the bowl. small today, so we're good.
Once again, watching 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. It's the A Squad qualifying. Mike Flanagan joined by Ken Keegan from Logo Infusion here in the booth, and now coming in a past champion. I think the only past champion that's going to bowl this event this year, actually, which is kind of surprising. Didn't bowl last year, but is back with us this year. Kyle Troop, thanks for coming in the booth for a minute.
Hey, thanks for having me, buddy. Glad to be here again.
Kyle, what are you seeing from this lane pattern here tonight compared to years past? I know we've only got a couple of games sample size. It's really hard to tell early, but what do you think so far?
Well, I mean, you did catch me right as I walked in the door. So,
Oh, okay. All right. Well, you can watch and explain right now with all the people
well,
at home.
What I've seen right now, definitely thought Strader was going to be a little more in play, but definitely seems like there is a little more friction this year. Guys are already fairly left on the lane. I'm seeing a lot of guys, sliding 30 and deeper already, covering a lot of boards. Still seems like there's a lot of hold in the middle of the lane. There's just a lot of friction to the outside part. It could just be, the smaller squad size and, just being a Friday night, guys wanting to try and hook it more. Like, I still feel like there could be some straighter angles in play. I did get an insight while I was eating dinner that urethane looked all right.
I was just going to ask you if you
I was
is
really
the
excited.
urethane in play here?
I was really excited about that, and I walked in and everybody's sliding 30. I'm like, okay, well, maybe it's just, they see the friction and they just want to go left instead of committing to it. Being the first squad out, you don't really have any preconceived thoughts about the pattern or lane play or ball choice, so nobody's really giving it a shot right now. I'm definitely going to give it a shot, for sure.
You're going to give urethane a shot?
Yeah. I mean, we could probably bet money on that, especially if there's friction to the right and some hold to the left. Why not, especially in a it seems like there's quite a bit of friction in this house in general. So that's probably going to be my play, but as of right now, it definitely seems like they're all wanting to hook it more. And look who we got here, Timmy Mack.
I know it. One of the coolest things about this event is how many people come out to the event to support it, guys like yourself. I mean, let's think about this for just a minute. Jake Peters won the very first year of this event, and then he went on to win a PBA Tour title just a month later, okay? You had been doing very well on the regional circuit for sure, but then you won this event and then broke through and won on tour just a couple months later?
Yeah, a month after. Yeah, it was this is definitely one of the biggest talented fields for a scratch tournament, I would say, throughout the country. I'm sure we're probably going to have 15 national title holders, I would guess, this weekend here.
Yeah, most likely. And we really like to try to be a stepping stone or kind of a AAA tournament series that if you come and win here, you're covered online. It's similar to television. It's not ESPN or CBS Sports Network for sure, but there's still that whole pressure and knowing a bunch of people are watching you at home.
Especially with how you set up the TV show format for this tournament. It's a little different than just some other live stream tournaments like, hey, go ball on this pair. You really try and give it that TV vibe to it. And I mean, I remember bowling the step ladder in 2015, and that was definitely my first big pressure situation, being under the lights. It wasn't TV lights, but it still felt like big lights to me. And so definitely a stepping stone. Like you said, this is, you always have a challenging condition. They're never too easy for the scoring pace. It's always a fair pace, which you can't ask for any more than that.
Yeah, and that's a lot to do with the Kegel Corporation. When I don't have to physically walk lanes and make sure that the bowling center employees, which the employees here I'm sure do a fine job putting down a condition, but when you have the experts who deal with this day in and day out, I mean, Doug Dukes, who's putting the pattern down this week for us, he does most of the PWBA tour stops. So we've got excellent folks designing the patterns, putting it down, bringing in the right lane machines as well. Got a standings update, guys, after game number 2. Brad Miller, your leader, at plus 61. In second, Kevin Walter at plus 32. Third, Daryl Ratliff at plus 28. I know he's a friend of yours, Kyle.
Yeah, Uncle Darnell.
Uncle Darnell.
Actually traveled with him to the IB the year I won. Just seen that on
Facebook
Facebook memory. And
that's right.
I was like, my man, we need to travel more together.
Scott Gilmore, who went to Purdue University and has been just a guy I've really admired over the years, gone on to be a very successful not only bowler but human being in life. Really like having him in the field his first time bowling. He's in fourth right now, plus 15. Fifth, Steve Pennington at plus 12. Tied with Bill Crane, Matt Sanders, and Sam Bratton, both are 10 over. And Jordan Richard, our only other player plus, he is even actually through 2 games in 9th position, Gasson -1 and so on back. We have 26 bowlers participating today. If you want to see how your favorite bowler's doing, head over to InsideBowling.com, go down below under the event information tab, and you can follow along at home. Ken, with you coming to this event, I know you had to travel quite a ways. Is there anything in particular over the next couple of days that you're kind of is your mission? What are you doing? Are you here? Are you like a bird dog here observing, or are you trying to sign players? Are you trying to sell product? What are you doing?
Yeah, all of the above. I mean, I'm doing a lot of things. Now that we got the company up and running, I got a little bit more time to get out into the field. I actually took a 6-year hiatus from bowling itself. I just started recently bowling again, so I got the bug a little bit. Not that I'm gonna bowl this event and donate my money to Kyle, but I guess I'm a little, bowling's in my heart, and it's just part of me, and I'm just excited to be out here and watching everyone bowl, So, and congratulations, Kyle.
Thank you, sir. Thank you very much
on everything. And
you won the first tournament sponsored by Logo Infusion.
I did. That is correct. Yeah.
That's right.
Unfortunately, I did not have a jersey on when I won that tournament to catch the bonus money. And now being on
So when you win this weekend, is that going to change?
Unfortunately, I'm on high five staff.
Oh,
so
okay. Well, there's nothing unfortunate about that.
But,
congratulations on that.
Thank you.
So how's your life changed now that you've had an interview on ESPN?
Honestly, my life hasn't changed at all.
Okay.
The success is great, but just like my father, it's never going to change who I am, and just the love for the sport and the love for the fans that we have. I was honored and blessed just for the opportunities that I had about, just doing the interviews. Like they said, hey, we want to do an interview on ESPN, and I'm like, it's been a dream of mine to just be on ESPN, one, to bowl, and then seeing myself on the highlights. It was humbling to say the least. But it really, what has changed is, I have that confidence again. I had a rough start to the year in February, major February. We had 3 majors, and I didn't come within 100 pins of getting a check at any of them. So it was going through some transitions, changing my game a little bit, and then losing touch on my A game of throwing it straighter. And so that's kind of what I've been working on now, is trying to get back to my roots a little bit, along with learning to be able to play the deeper part of the lane, cover more boards and whatnot. So I actually practiced a little earlier today. We were in here bowling, and just trying to get the flow back, get the straighter flow maybe a little bit better for this week. It seems to always be a good play for this tournament. So but as far as life, life's great. Like I said, I'm just blessed to be able to compete and do what I love and do it for a living. And just the fans, the support from everybody has been truly amazing. Some of the pros on tour have texted me and messaged me on Facebook, just how proud they are, and how great the interview was, and great for the sport. And just to be an ambassador for the sport, I'm honored for the situation that I'm in, and hopefully we can continue the success and grow the sport as much as possible, because the more fans, the better we have, because the fans make bowling in our sport.
Well, you're definitely a great representation, because humility is not everyone has that. Yeah, as you well know, But at the end of the day, we all put our pants on the same way, and the blessings come our way for a reason.
Yeah,
so that's how you manage it.
Just got to enjoy life and enjoy the moments that you do have.
Yeah. For some of the younger bowlers and up and comers, how do you said you want to play straighter at your strength? How do you manage your rev rate and straighter? How does that work?
It's kind of been something, just growing up, the style that I have, being a two-hander. I am the cleanest two-hander on tour, a lot of them say, and I am a different style than any of the other two-handers. I like to joke around and say that came from growing up watching Guppy throw it straight my whole life, and possibly also me not throwing a resin ball until I was about 13 years old. Okay. I remember throwing a green white dot up 10 in youth league, averaging like 200 whenever I was young. So I think just the way
surface management, whether it's a plastic ball, urethane ball.
For sure, especially if you're throwing the urethane equipment, 500. I don't throw anything 500 grit or lower on urethane balls, but as far as just managing my rev rate with the straighter angles, that's my trick. Certain bowlers have certain tricks, and there happens to be a really good trick in my bag, and like I said, I've kind of lost touch to it a little bit, but I'm trying to get back to it, as well as learning what I have, developing myself into a better two-hander. Being able to take advantage of getting further left of some of the field, and be able to create more miss area at times. So that it's always a learning process every time that we shoe up.
Well, that looked like a real exciting moments there in that match.
It was.
So,
that was quite the day. Just being able to bowl with Jesper and compete with him alone. Even not even making the show, just being able to bowl with him, being one of the two-handers that I look up to, especially one that loves to throw urethane. I've always been a urethane.
It's just amazing how consistent both of you. Consistent, from my standpoint, when I first started bowling, there were no two-handers unless you were at a junior league. A young kid throwing it two-handed. So I'm just amazed at the accuracy and for people that think it's just a gimmick, it's really not, and it's not for everybody. Right?
It's definitely the new revolution of bowling. I would definitely have to give props and shout out to Jason Belmonte. He was definitely one of the revolutionizers of the two-handed delivery in our sport. Coming over here and making all the shows that he did, and putting on the shows that he did, the amount of wins and just the power and what he has generated, and it's definitely funneled over into the youth side of the bowling, and you're definitely seeing more kids wanting to throw it two-handed, because when you're young, you want to see your ball hook. You want to you don't want to throw it straight. You want to see it hook and hook it as much as possible. So it's definitely becoming the new way of bowling. But
it was just at a real large junior event in Reno about a month ago, and about 10%, the Storm Youth Championships. Yeah. And there was 270 or so bowlers, about 10 to 12% for throwing it two-handed, and it's just amazing.
That's crazy.
It's amazing the talent out there.
You think 5 years ago there probably wasn't hardly
I just started
any
bowling and I was like, I'm ready to hang my shoes back up. I don't. It's crazy.
Hey, we can get you throwing it two-handed. There's no age limit on two-handed, none of that. So, you ever want to give it a try? Let me know. We can.
Yeah.
We can get it worked out.
I have thoughts, but everyone on my team just laughs at me. So.
Hey, I got laughed at a lot too whenever I was throwing it growing up, and
I always tell everyone. Tell everyone I'm the worst bowler on my team. We had Logo and Fusion, and then I tell them, I said, but maybe if I tried to throw it two-handed, like I would just elevate to the top.
There we go.
And I think half of them are scared that's possible, and the other half are just like, good luck.
It's definitely a change, but. Hey, change is always good, so you never know. Give it a shot sometime.
It is. So what you're going to bowl? What squad? You're going to bowl?
Bowling the 1:30 squad tomorrow afternoon.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I should be bowling the 8 a.m. squad. That way, if I do need to re-enter, I don't have to bowl back-to-back. But I wanted to sleep in a little bit. Yeah. 8 a.m. bowling is tough enough on tour sometimes whenever we have to bowl that early. So I figured if I could take a break, get some extra sleep, might as well take advantage of it.
I always found that when you bowl at 8 o'clock in the morning, your thumb is swollen. Oh, wait.
Yeah.
That doesn't affect you.
My thumb swells sometimes, especially with this rain outside, the weather. My thumb really gives me a lot of issues whenever I'm I do have a callus on my thumb, though.
Yeah?
From picking up my spare ball.
Okay.
With I pick it up with my thumb.
Okay.
So, I get a callus sometimes. So I may need some new skin this weekend. The
Yeah,
weather's
I'm
tearing my thumb up a little bit.
We might have a GoFundMe thing for your thumb.
All right, yeah.
Get you some tape.
Oh, you're missing some good conversation.
You guys have been doing a great job up here.
Yeah.
We're having a blast.
I just walk away.
Hey, we're making it easy for you. You work hard enough. Whenever you take a little break, go for it.
Yeah, I like to go in and check on the tournament office. This is the event that stresses me out the most, because not only do we stream the event, but we run the event. And I have to make the prize list, and I have to make sure that all the dollars and cents work out, and I got to negotiate the deal and come up and visit the place ahead of time. And, there's all this added responsibility, and it does begin to weigh on you after a while, especially as you add more things to your plate and more commitments and more things you're constantly thinking about, trying to help other people, clients and people you're involved with. And this tournament here, for whatever reason, the bowlers show up. There's been years where I'll promote it 3-4 months in advance, And then there was a year I promoted it in 3 weeks. And I get the same
Get the
turnout,
turnout.
doesn't matter. So
That tells me right there, the tournament director does a great job, and they really respect and want to support you for all the hard work that you put in.
yeah, what's so great is, I have like Jerry Anderson, for instance. He and I struck up a deal years ago. I helped him with his holiday doubles tournament. He did such a great job. We became such good friends. I said, hey, look, tired of running this tournament and streaming. Why don't you take over running the tournament? I'll just stream. He's like, oh, that's great. Jerry's walking around right now on the concourse. Just a great guy, awesome dude. And then you got Brian Burkhardt, who's in charge of all the really cool stuff with the live streaming, who's really pushed that up a notch. You got my girlfriend, Kim Richter, who runs pretty much the whole tournament back there with Jerry, and she does a great job as well. It's always nice to have a couple of girls working as well. Ashley,
Yeah, they're
Ashley,
definitely a little smarter than some of those guys sometimes.
Ashley Cole also
That's for
working
sure.
with us this year, and we miss some of our other guys like Matt Turek, and over the years Jeff Carter and Dennis Hacker have done a really nice job for us. Last year we had Bo Burton and Dave Lamont in the booth.
Wow.
We've just had a plethora of people that have been part of this event over the years. Every year it's kind of like TJ Maxx. It's never the same place twice.
Oh yeah, I mean it's it was definitely one of the most fun tournaments I've bowled. I've bowled it twice now, and this is my 3rd time. Been looking forward to this tournament for a long time on the year. It was definitely on the schedule for a long time, and really been looking forward to coming up. Just to hang out, see you guys. Of course, y'all are always a great company. Always like to have a good time. You work really hard, and it's a great tournament. I mean, I can't say enough about this tournament. I hope to see it continue to grow more and more.
We're just a bunch of bowlers. We're just like everybody else
Hey,
is bowling in the
we're a big
tournament.
family. We're definitely a big bowling family here.
Jerry Anderson, our tournament director, most people don't know that he bowls, and he was actually part of the first ever Baker 300 team on television.
Wow.
Wow.
Did not know that.
Yeah.
That was definitely the
He was
fun
on-
fact for the day.
He was featured on the cover of that bowling magazine. The old bowling magazine. It was black and white, or black and yellow.
Black and
Was
white.
that before I was born?
Trying to date him? It was black and white.
Yeah, it was black and white and red all over.
Yeah, that was probably before I was born, so I don't think I'm aware of that one. But
Continuing on here, game number 4. The pace of play is pretty good here. We've been on the air for about an hour and a half. We're glad you're with us. Have you guys been checking in on the chat at all? Seeing any of the questions that are coming in?
Oh, wait,
I
see, that's a
haven't.
lot of stuff to do here, sir. I mean,
Yeah, you got all kinds of things happening here. We've got 176 people watching. Want to thank you for that. Want to thank everybody for giving us a thumbs up down below. It does improve our
Christopher
our
Hester wants to
ranking.
know what the temperature is in the bowl. I would say it's room temperature.
Yeah, it's nice.
It's nice.
Like I
Not
feel
too cold, not too hot.
where my skin is exposed to the air. I feel a slight coolness, but it's not uncomfortable.
feels good in here for
And-
sure.
Yeah, and I'm looking at a couple of the bowlers. I don't see beads of sweat or anything like that. So
No.
it's raining outside, but I don't think it's hot enough for it to be uncomfortable.
Yeah, and I was practicing earlier in here, and was bowling fairly quick pace in the practice, and I actually made the comment. I was like, man, I'm not sweating. Feels good in here. Like it's gonna be a good weekend.
If you're just joining us, I am Mike Flanagan from InsideBowling.com. You hear me a lot on this channel. We've been doing a lot of streaming the first 4 months of the year, and we're glad you've been part of these broadcasts, and we do thank you for interacting with us in the chat. We're also talking things over with Ken Keegan from Logo Infusion, one of the founders of Logo Infusion, located in Las Vegas, and this weekend you can save 20% with coupon code IBOPEN17, IBOPEN17, the title sponsor of the Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. And our champion from 2 years ago, Mr. Kyle Troop, also joining us here in the booth. And I heard you guys talk about it a little bit earlier. Kyle won our event 2 years ago, went on to win on tour, get his first tour title. And there's a long list of players that have won 1 title, but the list of players that have won 2 titles is so much shorter. And that's confirmation that you belong. And that did just happen to you in a doubles event with your buddy Jesper, and that was really cool to watch on television. And then, yeah, it got followed up, as Ken was alluding to earlier, a really big kind of media story regarding your look, which I thought was nice.
Yeah, I mean, it was quite the humbling experience. Just, I'm just enjoying myself on the lanes, definitely carrying over the Troop tradition and my father Guppy with his style. And, I always like to have fun when I bowl. Yeah, if I'm bowling bad, I'm not really having too much fun. But if I'm bowling good, I'm definitely going to be having a blast. And just, I can't say enough about the crowd and the fans up at Bayside Bowl in Portland, Maine. The people there make that environment, and you have to. I mean, just the amount of joy and cheering for you throwing a ball down the lane, it just makes you want to strike and give back to them and just celebrate with them. cheer and scream. And the pick move, I picked that up a couple years ago on the Wolf Open show, and I didn't send a messenger because that's the only time I'm really supposed to pull the picks out. But it was my last strike, and I knew that it kind of locked up the match for sure. And so, I guess the double pick move's famous now.
It looks like a fun time up there.
It was the whole week. They have a big pro-am on Thursday night, a big Baker-style pro-am with 2 squads of 12 teams bowling, and every person in that building wants to win that pro-am. I have to say, if anybody listening, if you are a fan of bowling and ever want to take a vacation, make it to Bayside Bowl for the PBA League and the doubles up there, because you will not be disappointed.
I'm going to add that to my list. It looks beautiful up there.
And the way they advertise bowling up there, it says Bayside Bowl, the way bowling should be. And it's kind of hard to argue against that with just the environment and the love for the sport up there. And they love to have a good time. And it's always fun to have a good time while you're bowling and off the lanes, after qualifying and whatnot.
So many of us forget.
Yeah.
Like, why'd we all start doing this? Because it's fun.
Yeah, we get caught up in the moment sometimes with the frustrations of trying to knock down 10 pins. I mean, I'm guilty of it quite often. But up there, I did bowl well, but I feel like if I would have bowled a little worse, I would have still had a blast, because the crowd there is just one of a kind.
We've got a couple comments here. Ernesto wants to know if Pharoah Williams is bowling. I actually saw him, and he will be bowling tomorrow. And then someone else wants to know where the scores are. Is that that's on InsideBowling.com?
If you go over to InsideBowling.com, click on the live streaming link at the top of the page. Down below, underneath where our chat is, you'll see qualifying standings down below on the event information tab for you. You have standings after game 1 and game 2. I thank my tournament staff for getting that up and going here for us so that you can follow along at home.
George Gohagan looking forward to bowling tomorrow. Haven't seen him in a while, George.
GG3 he's the only guy that's bowled for the title twice, and he hasn't got it done either time.
All right.
Jake Peters and Rob Gottschall. Like shooting fish in a barrel, I guess.
Hey, third time's a charm.
Could be, George.
So
I would never count him out.
I'd like to thank him as well for supporting the event so many years. He was at the first one. Not everybody was. No offense to those that weren't, but those that stood in that bar at Crest Bowl in St. Louis, Missouri, when I addressed all the finalists, it used to be a bracket board. Is how it was the first 2 years, and it was that elimination bracket type style, double elimination. And stood in there and I said, we're going to grow this thing. Appreciate you supporting it the first year. I know the payout wasn't as good as you probably would have liked, because I think we put 7,000 out there based on a couple hundred entries. We got like 95 entries, so it didn't pay what the flyer said, but it said based on, and I felt a little disappointed, but I said I will not stop. We will continue to grow and we will continue to get better. And now for 5 years in a row, we've had at least 250 bowlers.
I was about to ask, what's the entry count been like for all the events?
Yeah, we've peaked out at like 327.
Okay,
something like that.
Do we have you have a lot of prepaid this year?
Or? It just varies.
Yeah.
It on par or a little bit more prepays this year than last year, but changing cities and not really knowing. Like I saw Craig Nidifer and Kurt Pelon here. They were not signed up ahead of time.
Yeah, I guess sometimes you just walk in and shoe up.
Last night, Brad Miller said, Kyle and I will be there tomorrow instead of Saturday. And I said, well, tell Kyle to shoot me a note because I don't even have him down for any squads on Saturday.
Any statistics on anyone bowled every event? Do you know anything like
I don't have a stat on that. I do not.
You bowled every event, Kyle?
No, sir. I've only bowled 2 of them.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's a pretty good winning percentage.
Yeah, that's not too
bowl
bad.
Bowl it twice, win it once.
I'd have to think back. Maybe some folks in the chat would be able to tell me. Tom Hess is close, but he missed last year. I'm just trying to think of people that were there the first year. It's interesting. Jake Peters bowled. He won and then finished second the next year and hasn't bowled since.
Maybe that second hurt his feelings a little bit.
That seems a little bizarre. You know what I mean? 1.5.
Especially for how the pattern is played for previous years. He's definitely matched up. Obviously, he proved it going first and second, but sometimes other obligations pop up. And
yeah, like his dad got married 1 year, remarried, some other things like that. Became a bit of an issue, scheduling conflicts, and now he lives in Las Vegas and, trying to get back to the Midwest, when he was going to Wichita and things like that was much easier for him. We've had a lot of ladies participate in the event, too, with the PWBA starting up this year a week earlier.
Yeah, I've seen Jackie Carbonetto.
Yeah, she's out there bowling. Yeah.
That was actually one of the first people we noticed that was bowling tonight. I was wondering why she wasn't out in California, but they do have a long schedule coming up, so I'm sure she'll be out there knocking them dead on the women's tour.
Yeah, she's got that full-time job with Ebonite International, and one of her big key things that she's in charge of is Junior Gold, and Junior Gold is smack dab in the middle of the women's PBA, Professional Women's Bowlers Association tour. So she's got a lot of commitments, so she couldn't bowl full-time this year.
Okay, well, thank you to her for all her hard work.
Another
especially
example
for everything that she's doing
of that is Tennille Milligan. That's another tremendous bowler, but now she's out working the tournaments and doing what she can to help grow the sport. So.
Looks like we have a front 6 coming up. That's one of the longest strings I've seen so far for the night. Looking around. Oh well, never mind.
No.
Front 8 on
Front
69
8.
and 70.
Yeah.
Who is that?
Let's see what we got. First of all, we'll take you over here now.
That looks like a urethane ball, possibly. I'm sorry for not knowing the name of the bowler in the blue shirt, the left-hander that was just up.
On 63.
Matt Sanders.
Okay.
He bowled the holiday doubles with E.J. Tackett. So that's Matt Sanders. And then who else do we have?
I crossed with him at the U.S. Open. And, of course, I cannot remember his name either. I'm not very good with names. Pardon me.
We're in game 4, right? Mike Kahn, Sam Bratton.
Front 9.
Front 9.
It's Mike Kahn, I believe.
Yeah, Mike Kahn. Yep.
All right, so now I'm going to eat my words because that's going to be you got me all suckered into this 300 game thing earlier.
Giving it the big hook too, Mike Kahn. We are going mobile.
Mike tried to say that no one was going to shoot 300. And
okay.
So I got brave and said someone is going to. There's going to be one.
Was there a wager?
And they're not going to make it on Sunday. But now I feel really foolish to even say something silly like that. Because he's got 10 now. So. And
yeah,
it looks like he'll definitely be there on Sunday.
For sure, definitely. 2 different styles too. With
Thank you, Mike Flanagan.
I know he is right-handed versus the left-handed style, but it looks like Mike is throwing a.
I'm withdrawing my bet on the 300 game and not making it to Sunday.
Okay, so here we go. Mike Kahn. It's the best camera angle I could get here with my wireless.
It's pretty good.
Looking for the front 11.
Yeah.
And he's got it.
There it is.
Trying to move that maybe even more here.
We can call the action for this last shot, Mike, if you want to hold the camera. So here we have it, the first chance at 300 at the 2017 InsideBowling.com Open, Mike Kahn with the front 11.
Looks like a good shot.
And there we have it.
Mike Kahn with 300 here in Game 4 at the 2017 InsideBowling.com Open. Nice job, Mike Kahn.
Congratulations, Mike.
Doug Dukes is watching. You can get lined up on this pattern, that's for sure.
So how much did a 300 game help him in the standings?
Well, we just got standings after game number 3, and Mike Kahn was minus 34, so he improves to plus 76. Leading is Brad Miller at plus 51. 66. Thank you very much for that. Thank you very much, Bob Ross, down in the end.
Yep, I got
and
you.
Statistician of the week here, Ken Keegan. Thank you.
Just testing us.
Yeah, I was. It was a test.
I went to the second grade.
Yeah.
Math was about my only good subject. in
Well,
school.
that's
There you go.
good to know.
See, I knew there was something that I liked about you.
Brad Miller plus 51 leads second. Matt Gasson at plus 17. Bill Crane is third at plus 14. Fourth is Daryl Ratliff at plus 6. Kurt Pelon is fifth at plus 5. Sixth is Jordan Richard at plus 2. And those are the only bowlers that are plus
My goodness.
going into that game. So
Those numbers are getting lower.
Mike Kahn could have went to the lead there
You
at
could have
plus
went to the lead.
66.
So one 300 game could send you up 13 or 14 spots.
That's right.
You know how impressive that 300 game is? They are not easy to find like at all.
So we were talking about, we had a front six over here with urethane, and then we got the big hook over here for 300.
Yeah, I'm telling you. 230 won the night game, the first 2 games. Like 300.
He just called out the scores, and we got 6 guys plus after 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, and there's a lot of good players here.
Just goes to show you, if you get a bunch of good bowlers on any pattern, there's always someone that finds something.
Yeah, that's definitely the IB Open patterns. Always challenging, always. Oh, that was a brutal stone 8. I'm gonna wait for Mike to get back on. Gonna sign off.
Thanks for joining
Yeah,
us.
definitely enjoyed
So-
talking with you guys. Hopefully we can get in here again sometime this weekend. Maybe even on Sunday in the final.
We look forward to seeing you bowl tomorrow.
Yeah, looking forward to it. I'll be in here for the first squad.
Extended play on Sunday.
Check it out. That's the plan. Let's make it happen.
Hey, Kyle, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, thanks for having me on
Appreciate
here.
it. Make sure
Always
you
good seeing you guys.
make sure you stop by and let us know how you're playing out there on the lanes. You know, give us a little update as you're going along with your block.
Sure will, man.
Thanks, buddy.
Thank you for having me.
Thanks, Kyle. That's Kyle Troop. He's a 2-time champion now on the PBA Tour, and he's won this event before. Looking to be the first 2-time champion of the Logo Infusion Inside Bowling.com
You
Open.
need to go to the restroom and work on your hair there. So, but yeah, back to normal.
Finishing up game number 4 here. And really amazing with the scores, 51 over leads right now, and only 6 players plus thus far.
Well, you know, there's a lot of stuff on social media recently about, you know, do people want the conditions tougher or easier? And, you know, a very high percentage want them tougher. And it looks like you've achieved that. I mean, that's a plus 51 is, you know, it's respectable for 3 games. You know,
Yeah, and that's in the lead.
averaging 217. That's,
Middle of the pack is minus 31.
I mean, it's not like the lead is minus 51.
Correct.
Mike, how's the like early on the scoring pace? How's this different or similar to previous IB Opens?
Similar.
Similar. Good.
Yeah, I remember a particular year where Anthony Pepe went like 790 out of the gate
Wow.
and finished like 170 over for the 8 games. It was an 8-game qualifying block at the time.
Okay.
We reduced it by 1 game here this year, down to 7.
Well, as I walk through the concourse saying hello to everyone I know, the word on the street is that you have a reputation for putting out we'll say a challenging condition.
Certainly is. That's what we do. That's what we like to do. We like to do it in a little bit of a different way, though. We try to put together a long pattern that plays out.
Right.
Although Mike Kahn was playing more towards the center part of the lane here. You know, this is a new venue, a little bit different lane pattern, characteristic of how it's drawn up. So.
Yeah, I got
Could-
Dave
could-
Wadka finishing up his game here. He's moved inside. Mike, thanks for having me here.
Oh, absolutely.
I don't know.
That's what we always do. We need help in the booth, and getting someone like yourself who works in the industry so often and knows so many of the bowlers and what's going on out there. Having you in here, it's a natural fit. I know when Brandon helped us a few years ago, Brandon did a tremendous job in the booth for us as well.
Yeah, I've met a lot of people in my life, and Brandon Allred is one of the hardest working men that I've ever met. So I'm proud to have him on my team, and he does a great job. Definitely dedicated to the sport.
We're always getting set up for quite a while here. By the way, give you a little live streaming booth insight here. All you gotta do is just, you're number 2.
Oh.
All you do is just slide that sucker down and you're good to go. I do it all the time. Especially when I have the sniffles, I do one of these.
Oh, okay.
And then boom.
All right. Well, next time I choke on myself, I'll turn that off.
That's the right way to do it.
All right. I'm noticing a couple of the guys that are moving in still not using equipment that overreacts. So no high differential shiny stuff on this condition.
No.
But there definitely looks like there is a shot inside. There's still a shot outside. There's still players that are still playing outside.
Ken Keegan here in the booth with Mike Flanagan, and you're watching the completion of game number 4 of 7 here at the 2017 Logo Infusion InsideBowling.com Open. We are in Indianapolis this year, change of venue. We have 3 more squads for you tomorrow beginning at 8 a.m. Did you guys end up getting a hotel fairly close?
There's I guess there's a very large convention here in town, and so rooms were at a premium. And so we're not too far. I think we're maybe 20 minutes from the bowl. We're over in Mooresville.
Okay.
That probably means more to someone from Indiana than me. So I just see signs and
Is that control room?
Appears to be some technical stuff happening here.
Always.
Don't stop talking, Mike. Tell us what's going on.
Yeah, we've just trying to get our back channel to work.
Lights here no matter what the
Yeah, and every time I fire it up, it works. Today it's not.
What'd you do?
I don't know. It worked last weekend with no problem.
Got some bowlers starting game 5 here. try to get you information on who's in front of us. Everyone
Bring up our graphic for game number 5 here.
Everyone moving 2 pairs. So.
Yeah, that is a skip procedure. We should have probably went over that. Really don't have anybody bowling. This is game number 5. Coming into game number 5 here now. Is everything working now? So if you're just joining us, we did have a 300 game by Mike Kahn just a little bit ago. Took him to plus 66. He was minus 34 through 3 games. In game number 4, he bowled a perfect game, 300. Also, currently our standings after 3 games. Brad Miller leads at plus 51. Gasson second at plus 17. Bill Crane at plus 14. Daryl Ratliff at plus 6. Pelon at plus 5. And Jordan Richards is in 6th at plus 2. And Jordan Richards currently up on your screen on lane 68. Tom Hess checking in a while ago with a screenshot of his dashboard in his car watching the stream tonight. Safe travels, Tom.
Yeah. Hello, Tom. See you tomorrow.
He was at the very first one of these.
That's a man. That's a passionate man right there, Tom Hess.
Very passionate.
Misunderstood, I'll say. Good guy. Proud to have him on our national staff.
He's a good dude.
Been with us since we started. Joined us without question. He was excited to be with us, and he's been there the whole time.
Brandon Novak here in the building, all events champion from the USBC Open Championships last year. Just received all of his accolades and awards. Kyle Troop just says that Daryl Ratliff's gone to urethane, I believe.
You know, having been around bowling long enough, it's very interesting to see the urethane balls coming back into the marketplace.
Certainly is. It's a trend.
It's a testament to a lot of the new patterns. Daryl Ratliff with another strike. Urethane. Just to fill in the silence here, there's some technical things happening here in the booth. Hopefully you can all hear us. Uh-oh.
When I go out on the road and I do these events, I have everything set up for a certain kind of setup. And then when we come and we do this event, things get a little more complex, and there's moving parts and things that are attached to one another and moving around. And my computer's running a little slower than normal, and we had a laptop sitting on top of a laptop stacked up for room and purpose here up in the booth. So yeah, I trying to send Brian an email right now, and she just doesn't want to do anything because I think she's just a little overloaded. And we're working with a very, very good MacBook here.
What did we do before all this technology? It's just such a problem.
It is.
As you can imagine, spares are a premium here at the IB Open in 2017. So when you come out here, try to strike. Make sure you make your spares.
Let's see. There's a large firefighter convention in Indianapolis this week and weekend. They've had most of the convention center in Lucas Oil Stadium full of firefighter equipment, demos, training, etc. That's why the hotels are higher priced and hard to find. Yeah, and that was more so for tonight. Tomorrow night you can still find a lot of hotels in town at a decent rate, but tonight was definitely a tough get on a hotel room at a reduced rate.
We found a real nice place in Mooresville. I think it's the Homeland Inn.
Okay.
Doesn't seem like a lot of people are staying there, and the rooms are reasonable. So check that out. It's about 20 to 25 minutes from the bowl. I found it on Hotels.com.
There you go.
Very, very savvy with the internet as an old guy.
Hotels.com. I'm normally checking out Priceline.
You know what I noticed about the internet? I have 2 children, a 12 and a 15-year-old. They don't really like use the internet the way I would use it. Like to Google something doesn't make any sense to them. So they ask me all these questions I have no answers for, and I'm like, well, Google search it, and then they look at me with a blank stare. So I've missed something in a generation. They don't. To me, when I was growing up, you had to go to an encyclopedia to find out anything. Now, you go on Google and just type in your thoughts and get all kinds of answers.
You can get anything answered there, and usually Google also, because they own YouTube, you also get a video that'll help you figure it out as well. Whether you're trying to unclog your sink, fix your dryer, garbage disposal, you name it. So your leader through game number 3 was Brad Miller, and he's back on your screen again for this game number 5. He and Kyle Sherman crossing through. I sent you that. You got some notes and things coming in here, Ken?
Yeah, I got a bunch of, life is happening, I'm here in Indianapolis. My wife and I are buying a new home. We were supposed to move in 10 days ago. And we are in the last minute crunch. We're supposed to close on Monday, and the bank waits till 2:30 in the afternoon on a Friday while I'm out of town to ask for some documents that pretty much we've already given them. But so a shout out to my wife. She is awesome. First of all, she puts up with me, so that makes her a saint. But she got a whole bunch of information over to our mortgage company, and it looks like saving the day.
Nice. We're in game 5 of 7 here, and I'm looking forward to seeing the game 4 scores, because
It'll be very interesting.
It will be, because of that 300 by Mike Kahn, which really was kind of out of nowhere. Those should be here sooner than later. It's really cool that, even with the fast pace, we're getting the scores so quickly.
We got front 4 on lane 64.
Yeah, and that's Kyle Sherman.
I've heard that name before.
Yeah, it's actually kind of funny. Kyle Sherman is from the St. Louis area. Grew up bowling with Nick Weber, which is Pete Weber's nephew.
Interesting.
Did a lot of bowling together. Ben Tubbins as well, from the St. Louis area. Kevin Tubbin, Dennis Sherman, John Weber, Nick's father, Pete Weber, Nick's uncle. A lot of good bowling pedigree in the St. Louis market. And Kyle actually bowled this event when I think he was 14 years old. Crossed with Jeff Riggles at the inaugural event that we had at Crest Bowl. Was the youngest competitor in the field and made match play and almost made a run at winning the thing.
Well,
now here he is. He's been a member of Junior Team USA. He was collegiate. I believe he was the first team All-American. I'd have to check my facts on that. Although you don't really have to these days here in America. You can just come up with fake news whenever you want, right?
there you go.
That's kind of how it goes.
I was waiting to see when you were going to say something like that.
Yeah. So let's take a look at Kyle Sherman right here up on our screen. You see him there? He's a member of Ebonite International staff wearing the track shirt here tonight. Did that come off your table?
That appears to be one of the ones that came off my table. That is a very well thrown number 5 in a row.
Sure is. Basically what you've supplied here is a $35 to $40 entry fee for a chance at $2,000.
I think that's a pretty good investment. We still have, I'm looking down at our table, we still have plenty of investments there.
Yeah, so if you're coming over to bowl the event and you don't have a Logo Infusion product to be eligible for the extra $2,000, they brought inventory here. You can purchase some shirts.
$40 investment for $2,000. That's like 50 times your money.
Maybe $250 to go wash it in between blocks.
Ah, come on.
I would buy 2 and make it an $80 investment and have 2 beautiful pieces of wonderful jerseyness to be able to take home and be able to use in future events.
Well, I'm not greedy. See, I'm a strong believer in taking care of the end user, and then they will stay loyal and keep on purchasing. So, but whether you buy 1 jersey or 100, I love all my customers.
You could go with a new tagline, kind of like Lay's potato chips, but you can't buy just one.
I could. But a Lay's potato chip doesn't last very long.
That's true.
But a Logo Infusion jersey will last a long time.
It does. I will say though, stay away from the Velcro, folks.
Oh, that's a good point. Yeah, you want and that's for any polyester shirt.
Absolutely.
You know, what's funny is you know, when I talk to people, you know, a lot of people they still have a concept that polyester means like your grandfather's polyester. But it's not. You know, if you're wearing a moisture-wicking shirt, Adidas or Nike or any you know, Under Armour, check the tag. It's polyester.
Absolutely.
And you know, so you're dealing with very fine filament-based fabric that Velcro, not good, not good. Likes to grab it, likes to tear it apart. So be careful with your bowling bags out there, especially with your 2-ball totes. Keep all the Velcro away from your jersey. Kyle Sherman's run ended with a 4-pin on the 6 frame, but he picked that spare up, which is very important. It's an interesting pair, Brad Miller and Kyle Sherman bowling together.
Yeah, they're good buddies. They just got done bowling the Boom Doubles last weekend together.
Okay.
Now here they are bowling this, and they just happen to get paired up together. Here we go. I've got a standing sheet from Missy. Brad Miller, your leader, at plus 95.
Oh, interesting.
Second place, Mike Kahn at plus 66. Third place, Matt Sanders at plus 5. Fourth, C.J. Kirchner at plus 4. Fifth, Sam Bratton at plus 1. 5 bowlers are plus now.
So we lost one.
Number keeps going down.
And Brad shot 240, 244.
Yeah.
So the 300 game did shake things up. But if you think about it, we actually lost 2 of the people that were plus. We've lost 2 of them because Mike Kahn was in the negative.
Yes, he
before
was.
That 300 game.
Minus 34 improves the 66 over. Brad Miller almost converts that 3-4-7. What was that?
That was a
3-4-6-7?
3-4-7-10. No?
Was that what? I don't even know what it was.
Yeah.
I
Oh,
can't
no, it
even
was,
figure it out now.
3-4-6-7. Left the pesky 4-pin.
Kyle Sherman actually in pretty deep, and that's out the window, and he knew it. And that's what happens on this pattern. You miss just a little to the right, left to right, and you're going to stare at a 2-pin or worse. And a 2-4-8-10 is worse. Although it's better with the 4.
Yeah.
See if Kyle can slide it over. Hit the left side of the 2-pin. The 4 goes into the 8, and the 2 takes out the 10. Without the 4, it's almost impossible to pick the 2-8-10.
It is.
So here we go. Let's take a look, see if Kyle Sherman can show us a little spare clinic here. He's definitely, you're going to see this ball change direction at the very end quite a bit. Watch this.
Wow. Almost. That's the word I'm going to use. Almost.
Hooked too much at the end.
Yep.
I want to welcome in all of our viewers here tonight that are watching. Make sure you give us a like down below. Tell all your friends you're watching InsideBowling.com. 2017 logo infusion, InsideBowling.com. We're talking it over with Ken Keegan up here in the booth, making the trip in from Las Vegas. Founder of Logo Infusion. He and Brandon are here. Make sure you take advantage of all the specials and things they have going on here. You can save 20% online with coupon code IBOPEN17. IBOPEN17. I believe that's through the end of the month.
It's through the end of May, that month.
Oh, it is?
Yes.
Oh, it's been extended.
Yes.
I should have read the email.
You said you liked our emails.
I do like them.
They said you said they make you smile.
They do. Kyle Sherman
Got a strike.
puts the 4 into the 9.
Just say he got a strike.
Yeah, you got a strike.
What if it's still raining outside?
I'm not sure.
I haven't heard thunder in a while.
I bet that's true. Garth Brooks says it best. Thunder rolls.
Yeah. How you doing?
Thought this might be a good opportunity as I grab bowlers off the concourse and bring them into the booth, talk things over with myself and Ken Keegan. I'm going to bring in Andrew Anderson, who last week was a star on this exact same channel. Took home the boom doubles with his partner, Matt Gasson. Welcome to the booth.
Hi, guys. How are we doing tonight?
Doing good.
Doing real good.
Question for you, Andrew. You're watching balls go down the lane and ball reaction, ball motion. What do you see compared to years past to this event with this new flying V pattern we put out?
Gosh. Well, you know, there's a lot of different styles working. There's a lot of different things going on. So to compare it to years past, I would say that it's definitely flatter, much touchier down lane. In years past, you can definitely throw a lot stronger balls, and you didn't really have to worry about having hold. This year, the hold is so much touchier because of how much energy the balls are saving. But then again, like the building's not allowing people to throw a lot of surface. So Mike Kahn's bowling really well right now. He has a little lofting going. His ball's not seeing the front nearly as much. Brad Miller's bowling really well. This game's a little rough, but overall he's bowling really well. So like I said, it's compared to years past, I would say it's flatter. Scoring pace is going to be a little lower, especially off the get-go, but the scores are definitely coming up a little bit right now.
What squad are you bowling?
I'm going to bowl 8 a.m., bright and early, and then if I hopefully don't have to bowl again, but I always like to watch a squad, see what's going on, and get a better idea of what I'm getting into.
Now, what will be your strategy tomorrow if you, depending on how you bowl in the morning, will you re-enter?
Oh, of course. First off, you guys do a great job of running a tournament and putting a prize fund together that makes it worth worth bowling again if you don't bowl very well. Strategy-wise, you know, I'm gonna definitely get my bowling balls ready for in the morning, and then it'll be much easier to tell me what to do if I do have to bowl again. What happens in that morning squad. But right now, there's a lot of different ways to play the lanes, and I don't really know if one way is better than others at the moment.
Seems like those that are playing inside are playing up the lane, not a big swing.
Yeah, angles are definitely starting to close down. On the fresh, when you first started, I didn't think that was possible because of how much hook there was down the lane. Now that they're tightening up a little bit and some of that volume is pushing down, you're seeing a lot of the players that are playing in have more hold.
Right.
So it makes sense.
Yeah.
I've never personally bowled on a pattern like this, so I didn't really know what to expect anyways. But it's definitely giving me a good idea watching tonight.
I'm sure you'll figure it out.
I sure hope so. It's 7
Looks
games.
like,
I hope one of them.
Kyle Sherman's got it figured out pretty well.
Yeah, Kyle Sherman's bowling well.
203 in the ninth
Yep.
with a strike.
Yeah, he also, I did watch a lot of Kyle. We throw the same bowling ball company. I want to think we throw it somewhat similar. So he was the main guy I watched early on, and he struggled a little bit on the fresh, and he started a little farther left than most. So that kind of told me what was going on and what problems people are running into. But his ball reaction is getting a lot better now that there's a little more hold down the lane.
So how many balls did you bring?
I don't think you want to know the answer to that.
How big is your car? Is that a better
yeah,
question?
That's a better question.
Okay.
I have a Toyota RAV4, so as many balls as you can fit in the
Okay.
trunk are in there. But I would
So
say
Kyle's wearing a track shirt. So you're saying you're throwing track bowling balls? Is
I'm on Ebonite international staff.
Okay.
So I throw all 4 brands:
Okay.
Ebonite, Columbia, Track, and Hammer. But not one in particular.
okay.
But
So you have the option of throwing any of the 4 brands?
any of the 4 brands.
Okay.
Yep, and they're making some.
I know you
very
bowl
good-
PBA events. Is there any restrictions when you get on TV? Do you have to use the
no.
Ebonite brand, or you can
No. For me personally, there has not been. Whether that's something that happens in the future, I do not know.
That's been a thing that's changed. You can throw any of the brands as long as you find the best ball. It can help you win.
Yeah.
Sounds like they're going to get their best bang for their buck, huh?
Yeah.
Well, we want to thank Ebonite International for supporting this event.
Yes. So, Mike, when you put this pattern together, did you plan on it being pretty similar to previous years, or did you want something a little different?
Well, in this particular case, we knew we were going to a much slicker surface from
Yep.
Tropicana to here. So we were already kind of dealing with a totally different bag of wax here, so to speak. So
Oh, yeah.
I reached out to Doug Dukes, and I used to design the patterns myself and test them and things like that. But because I wasn't able to get up here this year, Doug does this for a living, and that's all he thinks about all day long is lane oil and how the patterns play.
Okay.
And with all the experience he's had on the PWBA tour and all these events all over the world, Doug knows what I like here. And he also knows that I like to market an event. And he came up with kind of a creative pattern that he's tested before
Okay.
that he thought would work well with what I try to achieve here.
Yep.
There would definitely be some differences, but we were also doing some guesswork compared to Tropicana and lowering the total volume here.
Right.
So we knew that it could play a little bit different. There could be maybe more multiple angles as opposed to that down and in to start, which I'm okay with. I'm okay with a pattern evolving or an event evolving as it switches and moves around. Keeps it fresh. And so far, the scoring pace I'm very pleased with. That's very, very important to me. And I like the Flying V. I think it's cool.
It's unique. That's definitely unique. I was just curious. I would say the scoring pace to me is definitely lower from years past because I think Tropicana allowed you to play farther right. It kind of just pushed you in that direction. So with less people bowling here in previous years, I don't really see one type being the dominance to start.
Yeah, I would agree. Talking things over with Andrew Anderson and Ken Keegan here in the booth. You're watching game number 5 come to its conclusion here from Western Bowl here in Indianapolis, Indiana. Taking a look at your tournament leader, Brad Miller, just bowled 191, crossing with his good friend Kyle Sherman, who just bowled doubles at the Boom Doubles we were talking about. And Kyle finishes out with, is that 232?
232.
232 for Kyle Sherman. That's going to wrap up game number 5 over here, but we will take you to a pair that's a little further behind. Take you over to 65 and 66, 67 and 68. 67 and 68 will be going into game number 6. Finishing up game number 5 on 65 and 66. Currently right now you've got Kurt Pelon up there. Interesting. Tournament director Jerry Anderson just came up to let me know that they have to take a lane out of play. So there's just a few frames to go. So both players are going to finish on lane 76 because 75 needs to be taken out of play. They're going to finish that game on that pair just on one lane. And then any players that are going to 75 and 76 moving forward in the event tonight, 79 and 80 will be put into play. And that's where you will go to bowl.
Really?
Yeah.
That makes it interesting.
It's what we have to do sometimes.
Oh, yeah. Things happen all the time. Lanes break down. Will the people going to 79 and 80 this game have any practice on it?
I do not believe so, because it'll just be another pair they're going to.
Yeah.
It wouldn't be fair to give anybody practice going to a new pair.
Yeah. No, I agree. I
So.
was just asking. I don't know. It definitely makes it interesting. What game is this? This going into game 6?
Going into game 6, yes.
2 games left. Well, interesting enough, Brad Miller, the tournament leader, will be finishing on that fresh pair. In game
Very
7.
interesting.
So,
I wonder if he knows that.
I don't think he does yet. I don't think he does. Because I think that changes the way you look at, obviously, that last game.
Probably better not to know that you're going to finish up on there.
Not yet.
Is that right at this point?
Not at
yeah.
this point.
Focus on the game in hand.
Yeah, what's in hand.
That's definitely a change in mindset.
Yeah. Because you get comfortable. As the block goes on, you start to see similar shapes pair to pair.
Yeah.
And then you kind of have to take a big step back and kind of dumb it down and try to figure out what you did on the fresh.
So back in the old days,
Okay.
we would go down to the next pair that we were going to bowl on and kind of get a feel for the bowlers that were bowling on there and try to adjust off what they're doing. Is that still happening?
I mean, I personally go to in the 6th or 7th frame of each game, I go to my next pair to see where people are playing. You know, some tournaments are different than others. It depends on who you follow, who you bowl with. All those things play a factor. But I would say that generally speaking, you can always get an idea, especially if you watch the same people. If you always follow the same people,
Sure.
get an idea of how much they transition.
Right. Get a feel for what's changing or what has changed over there, how different it is from the pair that you're on.
Yep.
I know a lot of tournaments now. If you're on the left lane, you go left, and right lane, you go right. That throws that out of whack.
Yeah, yeah, it does. But one good thing that tournaments, I have never bowled a tournament that doesn't, but you always go in the same direction every game. So if you follow one
or
person,
another, you're still following somebody.
Yeah, somebody, and you know where you're going.
Right, that's
so
a good point.
You can always figure out where you're going and try to find somebody to watch. And tomorrow there'll be more bowlers on each pair, right? You know.
I would assume so.
I don't know how many bowlers are in the morning, but.
Yeah, we're gonna have 4 on a pair.
Okay.
We will have 4 on a pair. We could have 3 on a pair, I guess, in the morning squad, but then after that, it'll all be 4 on a pair.
Okay. So yeah, that'll change everything as well. I mean, obviously, the more games that go down the lane, the more transition, faster they transition.
So, in your opinion, when there is 3 to 4 people on the pair as opposed to 2, how does that change things? As far as the pace, the actual, not the scoring pace, but the
pace in general.
The pace in general.
Well,
do you like that, or you don't like that, or?
if I'm being honest, I want to get up and go. So
Okay.
I don't spend much time waiting.
So match play
anyways.
is where you'd want to be at all
Yeah,
times.
yeah, I love
Okay.
match play.
Okay.
But I would think it changes more the aspect of how you attack the lanes and less about the pace. I don't think many bowlers actually worry about the pace of play while you're bowling because you have to just wait for your turn.
Okay.
So whenever your turn is up, it's your turn to go. Some players do take it slower regardless of how many people.
Okay.
Some people like pre-shot routines, you see them all the time. Some are slower, some are quicker.
Sure.
But I would say the way that I would attack the lanes when it's 2 to repair versus 4 to repair is much different because 2 to repair you feel like you're bowling on the fresh a little longer. The transition's slower, so you throw different bowling balls for a longer period of time.
Sure.
So
More
Sure.
bowlers, more changes.
exactly. So I was honestly I got here in time to bowl this squad, but I was contemplating it, but the more I thought about it, with 2 on a pair, I would prefer watching something like this because the end of their game 7 versus the end of our game 7 will be much different tomorrow, and I would say that this technically should be the end of game 4 or 5 for a 4 per pair. So
Sure.
you kind of get an idea where people are ending and where our transition might be.
You bowling full time now, or
I manage the Bowling IQ Training Center in Sterling Heights, Michigan.
okay?
So I do bowl just about every weekend still. Thankfully, I have help that allows me to do that. But I try to bowl as much as possible. I am bowling every PBA event, national stop, and many extra frame stops this year. But I always bowl this tournament. I always try to bowl tournaments that Inside Bowling is live streaming, like the Boom Doubles. I think the tournament directors, Tamara Dunning last weekend, tournament directors of this tournament do a phenomenal job every single year. I mean, ever since I moved up to adult, I've been coming. It's always a fun format. A lot of good bowlers come, as you can see.
Right.
The competition, wherever the competition is, I try to go. Yeah, I feel like the best way to get better is to bowl against people better than you.
Did you bowl in college?
I did. I bowled 1 year at Davenport University in Grand Rapids, and I bowled a semester for Weber International.
Oh, okay.
Last spring now.
Pretty solid program there.
Yeah, Weber International knows what they're doing.
Got the folks from Kegel Training Center involved a lot in there. So,
oh yeah, they're
Del Warren and
Del Warren, Randy Stoughton.
get some of the best minds in bowling there.
Oh yeah, 100%.
So Pryzorski Thornton, is that right? Do you know this guy?
Yeah,
Andrew?
He's from McKendree. He's actually Greg Young's roommate.
Okay. So he and Kurt Pelon were behind a bit with the field here. So they're just finishing up game number 5. You see game number 6 started over on the right side of your screen with Aaron Lawrence. Aaron Lawrence bowling with...
CJ Kirchner?
Yes, he is.
Kirchner, is that how you say it?
Yep, CJ Kirchner. So we'll get that graphic change here in just a minute, and we'll also take you over 61 and 62, 63 and 64.
Got my partner.
Yeah, Mr. Gasson.
He has 9 pins. I saw a few of those last weekend.
So yeah, we'll take you there. There's Jimmy Cook as well.
How many games is qualifying, Mike?
7 games.
7 games. Lucky 7.
So, Mike, have you mentioned to Brad and Kyle that their last game will be bowled on the end pair?
I have not.
It's going to be interesting.
I think I'll go tell him right now.
So they were going to finish on 75 and 76, and then they'll be skipping to
Yeah. So they were supposed
79
to.
and 80.
Yeah, they're supposed to finish on 75 and 6, but since 75 is broken down, they will be now finishing on that pair that will be only 1 game in instead of 6.
Interesting twist.
And I'm trying to lip read Kyle Sherman, but I'm pretty sure he asked if we were going to get practice on that pair. I think that's going to be the counter question. So I don't know the answer to that question. Can juniors bowl inside bowling tournaments? I believe so. I believe they allow the youth waiver, the youth USBC waiver. I know that is only if it's a USBC sanctioned event, which I believe it is. That's a question
We'll
from Mike.
when we get Mike back in the booth, we'll have to ask him that question.
Yes.
How you bowling?
He was giving himself.
Oh.
And I'm throwing it horrible right now. And you can tell everybody that out there. I don't care. If I was actually going at halfway decent, I'd probably be 70 over right now.
So.
Oh well, 2 games to go.
Yep. Make the best of it, right?
Hey, 240, I get 70 over, and
You never know.
I don't know they're going to be much higher than that.
No.
70 over is going to be pretty strong,
Yes.
the way it looks.
I mean, they're not easy.
I'll ask Mike once he gets back there.
Good. We got a question for you.
What's up?
So,
We have a question that was asked here about junior bowlers, if they can bowl.
They can bowl singles events. Yes, we're USBC sanctioned, and they can fill out a smart waiver with their
USBC.
parents, and they can do that. So,
Okay.
yep, but no doubles tournaments. That's against the rules, or team events or anything like that.
Okay.
Yep, youth bowlers can come on out.
So their prize fund would go straight to their smart account.
Smart account. Yep.
Okay.
We've had that happen many, many times.
Well, you mentioned Kyle Sherman bowled us, sounds like several times
Yep.
as a junior bowler.
Yep.
so what was his reaction? I was trying to look
Well,
for
I
it,
didn't
but-
talk to Brad. I talked to Kyle, and Kyle said, I need as much help on the fresh right now as I possibly can, so I see it as a blessing.
Okay.
And he said that he doesn't think Brad's going to have any issue with it at all.
Oh, good. You kind of just have to deal with it. I think.
Yeah.
I was just
Yeah,
going to
as a
ask
bowler,
Andrew,
you just
how
prepare
does that, what's your mindset when you're in a tournament and you see something like that happen? Is that,
If I'm the bowler or if I'm watching it.
oh, either one?
If I'm watching it, I feel very unfortunate for them. Because as you go through a block, you get used to stuff.
Get used to
And Brad's
how it's transitioning.
Yeah, Brad's bowling so well right now. I mean, it's just crazy how he is the guy that has to finish on that pair. You know, being the leader. It's crazy how stuff like that happens. But Brad's a great bowler. He's going to figure it out. As a bowler, I automatically go grab the 3-ball bag I started with. And then
Okay. Go back to the beginning.
Yeah, I prepare for however I started the block, and if I did not start the block, well, I grab a different bag, or I grab a different ball. So that's how I would go about it.
So good advice for all the young bowlers and all the up-and-comers on how to handle different situations.
Yeah, you know, you run into it. People don't really realize how many weird situations you can run into. Lanes breaking down for 5 minutes, 30 minutes, or broken down for the rest of the night. You never know.
If it happens in league, it can happen out here in a tournament.
Oh yeah, oh yeah. You know, and you got to be prepared for anything. Pair to pair in large buildings like an 80-lane center, pair to pair could be so much different. We bowl the collegiate tournament. The Hoosier is here, and you pretty much bowl in each section of the building. And as a college bowler, learning, I mean, each part of this building is much different. And 59 and 60 is the last pair of the original setup of this building. 61 through 80 is an add-on.
Ah, very
So
interesting.
how much later they were added on, I do not remember. But I have a question for my partner. Hey, Matt. Matt? So they put the live stream on you when you're 9-pinned. They put the live stream on you when you're 9-pinned. Did you miss that? Okay. I was just curious. Last weekend we had a little bit of a struggle with the spare ball. And I had texted our ball rep and I asked if they could give him a new spare ball this week for this weekend. And it's just ironic that the first shot they show on the live stream is him leaving a 9-pin and missing it. It's very unfortunate. He's bowling very well right now.
He seemed very excited with the question.
Oh yeah. If you knew his and I, like last week, and we went through a lot of ups and downs. And his spare game was not helping our.
Good friends can definitely talk to people, talk to each other differently than not.
Yeah.
Those were like fighting words.
Oh yeah, that's the point. He bowls a little better fired up.
There you go. Sounds like Andrew's trying to spurn on his friend.
Yeah, he has to finish
Get
this
him-
game out strong.
Get him a little hot under the collar and get some scoring.
Exactly.
I like it.
Last week going into last game, and Mike witnessed this. We both opened in the 10th frame. It was probably the best thing that happened to us. Lit a fire under us, and we were so mad.
Well, and you moved to a pair that wasn't quite as challenging as the other pair, but you still bowled a great game. You can't take anything away from you guys.
And Mr. Gasson strikes
Telling you,
after you heat him up.
he's gonna throw a 5-bagger. It's gonna be great.
I got standings updated after game number 5. Brad Miller leads at plus 86. Knocking on his door is Mike Kahn at plus 75. Third is Matt Gasson at plus 38. Fourth is Jordan Richard at plus 17. And even is Sam Bratton, and he's in 5th position. So 5 out of the 26 are even or plus. 21 out of 26 are negative on the squad. If you want to see how your favorite bowler's doing, go down below on your event information tab on Inside Bowling, and you can see that for yourself.
There you go, man.
Yeah, Mr. Gasson, again, a strike.
Light the fire.
Gasson is one of 5 players that is plus coming into this game. Plus 38.
We bowled so many doubles tournaments together now, too. Once you bowl with somebody enough, you kind of know how to talk to them and know what they like to hear.
Matt's been bowling pretty good. He had a really good outing at the USBC Open Championships, and then he followed it up with the win at the Boom Doubles with yourself, Andrew. So
He's been bowling phenomenal.
he's a player to watch, and he made the TV show last year here.
Yep.
Glad you're with us. If you have any questions for us here in the chat, be more than happy to answer them for you.
We got Alan from Toronto saying hello to us.
Hello, Alan.
This is my brother's giving me a shout out. Thanks, Matt. I sure hope so.
Brady Nelson.
Oh, Brady.
Somehow thinking that I have talent over Bo Burton. I doubt that.
Good to see you pumped up the quality of booth announcers to Ken Keegan.
Thank you, Brady. But seriously, like,
We would have liked to have had Bo again, but anytime you move venues, you want to do everything every time, but there's only so many dollars to go around, and before you dip too much into the bowlers' pockets to do cool things, sometimes when you move, we have hotel rooms now we have to think about, which we didn't in the past, so we have eliminated a couple of extra costs, like Bo Burton and Dave Lamont, which we'd love to have those guys again, but just sometimes just the equation doesn't quite match up. I will say that every year of this tournament, we've had a different broadcasting crew in the finals. First year was Doug Lakey, Don the Legend, and Steve Orff. The second year was Doug Lakey, Jackie Bowling, and I think Don the Legend.
What was the first year of this tournament?
What year?
Yeah.
2011.
2011. Going back.
And then the third year was Randy Peterson and myself.
That was my first year bowling it.
The fourth year was Randy Peterson and myself.
Maybe it was the second.
The fifth year, I think I gave up the booth to, no, it was myself and Jason Couch.
That was the year Bill won?
No, that was the year
McNeil? No, McNeil was last year.
Couch and me was Kyle Troop, I believe. And then last year was Burton and Lamont. And now this year is going to be Dave Wadka and Ronnie Russell, unless
Okay.
Dave Wadka makes the finals.
Okay.
Then it'll be me and Ronnie Russell.
There you go.
So, what is that noise going on in here right now? It happens occasionally.
I don't know.
It's like somebody's doing something in the back of the center.
That sounds like
I think that's
like construction.
I think that's the game in the game room, the one that you. It's a big spinning wheel. I don't know
Okay,
what-
maybe it is. I wonder if sounds like a tornado's coming through here or something.
Or someone's
Could
cutting
be.
sheet metal.
Yeah,
Weather's
exactly.
definitely not good. Since Mike Kahn shot 300, do you think he'll still make it to Sunday? Well, I'll tell you, if he If he finishes out the day as well as he is bowling right now, he will definitely put himself into contention going into Sunday.
Okay, so let's think about this. Would you say that probably out of this squad, 3 people are going to be 50 over or more? Would be just a good guess
Yeah.
with
Sure.
the pace. Okay. So 3 out of 26 will be 50 or over or more, okay? So if we took out of 260 bowlers, 30 would be 50 over.
Yeah.
Same equation, right?
Yep.
We're looking for the top 32. So right now we're pacing 50 or 60 is going to make the top 32.
So let me ask you a question. So, and nothing to against anybody bowling this squad.
Sure.
The level of talent that is coming in tomorrow, put them on 4 on a pair, the transition hits more. And as you can see, Brad Miller's scores going up and up and up as they break down. The breakdown happens faster. Does the scoring pace go up faster?
Yes, but what happens if guys start using urethane and that becomes a trend?
How often, like, believe me, urethane is very often nowadays. You see it all the time. I throw it at home all the time. I don't think in this tournament there will be as much urethane because you showed the pattern.
Okay, well, Kyle Troop mentioned in the booth earlier when he was in here that he's definitely going to use some urethane tomorrow.
Oh, I think I'll see it for a game.
Yeah.
But when you throw urethane, the break point's generally speaking farther right.
Okay.
Brad Miller's break point is probably 10 right now.
Yeah.
I don't think he's going to see the transition of that. I get where you're going though. I mean,
Yeah,
it could
I'm just
definitely,
throwing it out there.
Yeah, it could definitely happen. It happens much more often now.
Now, you said you don't think that there'll be as much urethane because I released the pattern.
Yes.
Let's explain that.
If you were to just say, hey, it's going to be like similar years, you don't see a pattern. Anybody that's bowled your tournament knows it's generally a straighter idea coming from Tropicana. Everybody that threw a ball up 5 that was kind of strong today, it hooked early. A lot of the better players now, when they see a lot of early hook, especially close to the gutter, try urethane. And urethane does not look bad by any means, so therefore you would see more urethane being thrown off the bat,
Okay.
in my opinion. But because you showed the pattern, and it's definitely shaped much different than years past, I think people are more open to moving left faster.
We're going to flip over to lane 65 through 68. See Bill Crane bowling with Daniel Hochstein. And C.J. Kirchner with Aaron Lawrence. We did have a pair that had to be taken out of play, lane 75 and 76 tonight. So the bowlers are a little off on the what lanes or what games they're in compared to some of the other lanes.
So I believe, Brad Miller shot 231. He's going to be at 117 over going into the last game. Mike Kahn, if I can see correctly, has spare 5-bagger in game 6. Is that what that is? Spare 4-bagger on lane 55?
You got better eyes than me.
It's at least a 4-bagger.
It's at least 4-bagger. So
In fact,
both,
I think
both
it is
of
a
the
4-bagger.
yeah, both of the guys up there. Gaston struggled a little bit that game with 180, but the 2 guys up near the top at 80 and 70 over are both going to be well into the hundreds.
What is this young man's name over here, Andrew?
I don't know. He had an arrow. I should probably ask. I like his shirt though.
Yeah, me too. He looks a little bit like Trey Ford.
Okay, yeah, I see it.
You know who I'm talking about?
Yeah. Why don't you ask?
But I can't figure out if it's Trey Ford or not. Remember the really young guy that was bowling the Masters, I think?
Yeah. I think his last name is like Monticelli. I know that sounds weird. I watch a lot of Junior Gold, and I go to Junior Gold every year now that I'm not even bowling, and I coach a little bit, and I believe I've seen him. Let's find out. Maybe.
That's a good bowling name, that's for sure.
It is. I could definitely be wrong. 100% could be wrong, but find out. I think Mike found the answer.
And Lorenz finished with a 246, it looks like, on lane 68.
The young man's name is Sheldon, and he's not bowling the event. He's wearing his dad's shirt because he likes it. And they're just up here watching some bowling tonight.
All right.
Huh.
Sheldon. That's definitely not the name I was thinking of. He does look like the kid, though. All right. I'm actually going to go watch this Brad Miller game
absolutely.
on the end pair. I'm interested to see what happens.
There you go.
So,
Thanks for
Andrew,
joining
thanks,
us.
buddy.
yes, thank you. I'll see you guys in the morning.
All righty.
Good luck tomorrow.
That's Andrew Anderson joining us here in the booth. He won last week, the Boom Doubles. So, Ken, you've had a chance to get a feel for the booth up here. Pretty cool, right?
Well, pickings are slim. That's why I'm still here.
We
Because,
just, we just hang out up here and bring guests in.
if you had any real talent, I wouldn't be sitting here. But I'm glad to help.
I'm glad you're here to help.
And no one's hating on me here, so it's you know, too bad. Except Brady Nelson.
That's right.
That's all right. I'll get him back.
Hello to everybody in the chat. I want to say hello to Justin C. saying hello. And also Duden Delk has a question. Is Jimmy Cook plus? Jimmy Cook currently minus 42 through 5 games. Is this game 7 starting now on the right side of your screen and still game 6 on the left side of your screen? That is how I see it. So that's where it starts to get a little interesting with these graphics. Don't forget, you can still come sign up for the tournament. We will be accepting walk-ins tomorrow, but the C squad is getting quite full. The 130 squad.
So it sounds like Andrew was arguing a little bit, making the argument, not arguing, but making the argument that the scoring pace may be similar to this evening. Well,
Could be.
Actually, you were making that argument. He
Yeah.
was making the argument that
He
it could
thinks
be
it could
higher.
go up, yeah.
It could go up.
Jay Benny 300 says, Mr. Flanagan, has Boom Doubles been uploaded to YouTube yet? I have some of it uploaded, and it's sitting out there as private because I still have to tag it and monetize it and all that stuff. We've actually had some issues with the size of the files from that event, being 1080. And with all the work we've been doing this week with other things, it's taking a little longer to get it uploaded. So we're sure hoping to have most of this uploaded and archived right when we get home from this event, and then we'll have this event archived midweek next week. So apologize for that. We like to get it out a little bit quicker, but as you know, we just don't archive our stream, like a 7-hour stream or 8-hour stream. What we do is we actually record it on our own hard drive and then upload it at much better quality and edit it. So it takes a little bit of time. Can't wait to come watch some great bowling tomorrow. Thank you. Crossed with Gasson at the Bradley. He also did well there. 65 and 66, still complete in game 6. 67 and 68, Gasson and Carbonetto. In game 7.
Looks like a match.
Yeah, it sure does. They work together, live together, and then enter a tournament and get paired up together.
Yeah. Go figure. And she is just throwing the third frame. 2-8-10.
Fred McGee has a question. Is this where the IB Open is going to be held next year? I want to bowl in it. Fred, we don't know where or what we're doing yet. We do like this facility here. We're glad to have a home. We would like to be able to expand and get bigger. They don't have all the lanes available for us the entire weekend. It was difficult to find a bowling center that whoa, Jackie almost picked the 2-8-10.
She did.
It would be, we just don't know what we're going to do yet. It's also become, if I'm being quite honest, this tournament with a lot of other responsibilities that we have is just one of those things that, as great as it is and as much as everybody loves it and supports it, man, just flying past spares too now. It's not a challenge anymore. And sometimes when you beat the same game over and over again on your Nintendo console, you don't tend to put the game in anymore. And if you do, it's just not as exciting. There is the potential of hitting a reset button and coming back bigger than ever in a few years. There's potential of just business as usual and keep doing it all the time. We really don't know what it is. We're really sitting back and observing and evaluating what happens this year. And that's the truth. I don't really know any other way to really explain what we're thinking with this event moving forward. I can tell you I have a great tournament staff. I can tell you that they're all awesome people. I can tell you that it's all pretty much volunteer. Jerry Anderson runs a bowling center. He's missing his junior program's banquet to come do this event. And he's in there with his juniors every week, so there's sacrifice involved. So I travel a lot of weeks out of the year. I don't want to travel all of them. I keep committing myself to more and more. And it's just a matter of taking all of the responsibilities to figure out which ones are most important. We've had a lot of support over the years with this event, but just not sure what we're going to necessarily do going forward. Any thoughts on that, Ken?
Well, it sounds like you've been working really hard, and sometimes when we work really hard, we don't know how the future's going to be. But I don't know, Mike Flanagan. I don't see you stopping this. So you might need a little different support team. You know, you're not different team than you have.
Right.
You know, maybe Logo Infusion needs to get a little bit more involved.
Yeah, maybe so. I've just had a really crazy travel schedule this year. I mean, last weekend we were streaming, this weekend we're streaming, meetings in between, trying to gear up and get ready for this.
How's your vacation schedule going?
Yeah, it's not.
Okay.
It's not.
You should think about that.
Yeah, it needs to. Talked about scheduling one in August, and then there's this thing called Best Fans in Bowling with Hammer, who's sponsoring this particular live stream booth here tonight, squad tonight. Tomorrow morning will be track, and then Ebonite will be the afternoon squad. Columbia 300 will be the evening squad. I want to thank Ebonite International for their support of this event as well. I know we've been talking it over with Ken Keegan here from Logo Infusion title sponsor for a third year running, but also want to thank Ebonite International for their help and support. What a great deal. You get a bowling ball included in your entry fee. So you're kind of sort of on a free roll out of the gate. I realize a bowling ball is not $2.95 per se, but by the time you pay $2.50 a game lineage in a nice center like this for 7 games and get a bowling ball, you're pretty close.
Yep.
1 in 5.
It's a good deal.
Yeah, we cash 1 in 5 here. The last paid spot is $500. A lot of people make $500, and then we just take it up, and then we go from there. $10,000 for first. Additional $2,000 this year if you wear Logo Infusion. And the folks, this is unofficial, but it looks like 18 of the bowlers tonight were wearing Logo Infusion.
Wow. 18 out of 26?
Yeah.
Wow. I'll take that unofficial number. That's pretty good. Thank you thank you to everyone for out there bowling for their support and the support that we'll see tomorrow. Let's get back to this vacation thing. I'm not that much older than you, but I'm gonna take the fatherly side of
I'm
things
gonna finally switch us over to game number 7 now that we actually are almost done over here, and I'm also gonna switch pairs and take you into a group of new bowlers that I see Scott Gilmore there. I also see, let's see, who else do I have? I have Scott Gilmore, Mike Haggett, and we've also got Mike Kahn and Sam Bratton, and Mike Kahn bowled 300 earlier. Okay, back to vacation father figure.
Okay, so at the end of the day, you need to, you're passionate about bowling. You're out here, doing this. And obviously there's a lot of people following this, a lot of people watching this. You have, you're going to have over 250 people traveling to Indianapolis to bowl. So my only advice to you is that take a little vacation, because we don't want to see you fried out. When someone says, "Hey, are we bowling? Is that where we're bowling next year?" we want to hear, "Yeah, that's where we're bowling next year." We don't want to hear all this. Well, maybe we'll take a break. And we're not taking a break. Come on, really keep this going.
Yeah,
this is good stuff.
It's one
you
of
got
those
brand new jerseys. Come on.
I know. We wear them other places too. We wear them to church. Wear them to the grocery store.
To church, huh?
Wear them a little bit everywhere.
Okay.
They are they are great. Actually,
They're comfortable.
yeah.
I've been in one all day.
I like this particular.
And that's not my normal. My normal thing is not to wear a dye sub. I own a dye sub company, but I wear mostly embroidered apparel in the office and everything. That's just what I'm used to.
PBA Dave here wants to know, curiosity, approximately how many people elect the bowling ball in their entry fee? We have, I would say, a little more than half take the ball. Brady says, can you be excited to know that there are several logo ladies in the top 10 so far at the PWBA event? And Jeff Fair says, take a vacation, Michael. Looking forward to tomorrow.
Well, there you go. See?
I love Jeff Fair. Jeff, you're a great guy. We actually had a funny discussion. I don't know if it was last year or the year before. We were talking about Kim and I were going to get married, and Jeff was going to be in my wedding. It just all kind of came together like that. So we'll figure that out.
And that, folks, is what's called a segue. Where we completely change the topic.
Oh, yeah.
And go into some other zone.
Usually I'll start singing and stuff on the broadcast, too, about this time. But that'll be tomorrow.
Okay.
That's right, Jeff. Hashtag support the sponsors. I think that's a great hashtag, by the way. And I can't say that we started that. We started it in bowling, but I actually took it from a morning radio show that I listened to called The Morning After in St. Louis. Hashtag support the sponsors. And Jeff says, yeah, I was actually going to be the best man, Flanagan. That's what he said. I guess you and I need to start hanging out and having barbecues before we can have you as the best man.
So Mr. Crane is putting his something up to his head and firing it away. So
yeah.
Tyson, looking forward to your singing. It sounds like.
It's funny. People actually really have paid attention to these broadcasts in the past. I had a guy hit me up the other day and say, "Looking forward to Jerky Boys conversation on the air." I'll come up and say hello in my Jerky Boys voice, which means he must have been listening one of these times when I was doing Jerky Boys impersonations from the 90s. Then I went into the Boom Doubles last week and hugged the tournament director and all the folks that work there. And they said, all we remember from last year is you were singing on the air. That was the one thing they remembered. They didn't remember that I called a great final or that, the stream was good all weekend. Nope, just the singing on the air.
Well, maybe it's your calling.
Yeah.
Singing on the bowling live stream.
I don't think so. Now we got Mitch Beasley impersonation is great. You ever heard that one, Ken?
No, I have not. Actually, you know what? I think you were at the offices one time and you.
Yeah, it goes.
Sorry, Mitch.
Yeah.
But I have heard the Mitch Beasley impersonation.
Well, started with my sideboard Pearl, moved in a little bit, got in a little bit deeper, had 240, came back with 237, and finished with, I was about 147 over.
Well, Mitch, a very accomplished bowler and a veteran.
Absolutely.
Thank you for your service, Mitch.
He and I spent 2 hours in the booth at the Boom Doubles, and I didn't do the impersonation one time because we were talking exactly about his service and everything he's done and going through being in the military and not being able to bowl until he started bowling at a much later age in life, and it was a great talk.
Well, that's one of the nice things that we get to experience here in the United States because of all of the people that serve all of us, and thank you to all the veterans out there for allowing us the chance to be able to have this live stream and say goofy things, and
Absolutely.
tomorrow apparently listen to you sing.
Yeah, at some point.
Take a vacation. See?
Take a vacation.
Other people sacrifice. Well, now it appears that if you're in and you try to hook it and you get it too far to the right, it ain't coming back.
Oh, okay. Oh, okay. It's weird.
Gabe says, stop crying and announce.
Stop crying. Okay. What do you want me to announce? Yeah, last week we were talking about Mitch's track collection. He's got all these undrilled track balls from over the years.
Ooh.
Should have a Game 6 update here in just a moment. Sometimes it updates online before they can walk it down here too. Let's see what we got. Nope, 27 minutes ago it was updated. We do have some folks that are out of kilter here as far as where they're at. We put a video up on our Facebook page also and Instagram of Brad Miller throwing a shot. Brad Miller is our leader through 5 games at plus 86. Mike Kahn right behind him at plus 75. The 6th game was bowled. We're waiting for the standings update. You're watching Mike Kahn bowl currently right now. On these two pairs. A.J. Johnson in the house. It'll be interesting to see how many spectators come out tomorrow.
Well, I know a state tournament is going on here, so there's a lot of people from around the state that are going to be in town. So we might get quite a few spectators.
Very well could.
Guessing with a strike. Cal Troop is back.
Yeah. We don't have one after 6 yet.
We just got a wow out of Kyle Troop.
Yeah, I
Is
really
that wow
think
because of the difference between 2nd and 3rd, or just in general?
I think
Yeah.
the number for the top 32 is going to be around 60. That's my guess. We shall see.
Plus 60 is a very fair score. 208 average.
We'll see what happens. You know, they'll have more lanes to play on, too, across the house as the squads grow. More lanes will be put into play after tonight. My Barry Manilow singing needs to come out as being requested. Hi, Mike. I'm watching you and the Blues game. I know it's 1-1 right now. We're hoping to get out of here in an hour that we can get out and watch the 3rd period. That is one of the coolest things about sitting in this live stream booth and spending so much time in here. People come on and watch the broadcast, and we interact with them, and they get to know me. You know, I'll see people out and about, and they'll be like, hey, Mike, you know, there's a Steak and Shake just right down the road, because they know that I like Steak and Shake, because I talk about it on the webcast.
It's actually about 100 yards away.
I know, and they know that I like Barry Manilow. What'd you finish at? 110 for Brad Miller in the clubhouse.
Oh, he finished down like about 79-80.
Yeah. Finished 110 over. So that means he went 24 over the last 2.
Well, he was 117 over after 6, I believe. So, yeah, so he was 190 and change.
Here are our scores after game number 6. Mike Kahn, your new leader, at plus 119. You're watching him bowl right now on the left side of your screen, finishing up his 7th game.
Miller was 117.
Yeah, so Brad Miller bowled 193 the last game. Finished at 110. 3rd, Jordan Richard at plus 33. And I want to commend Jordan Richard. There were some events in the St. Louis market this weekend that sprung up to bowl, and he still made the trek all the way out here to Indianapolis. Says it's one of his favorite events to bowl. So thanks, Jordan, for bowling. Matt Gasson plus 19. We have 4 bowlers plus, followed by Matt Sanders minus 7, Daryl Ratliff minus 10, Aaron Lawrence minus 15, Jackie Carbonetto minus 18, C.J. Kirchner minus 22, and Bill Crane minus 24. Round out your top 10.
I think Jordan Richard was wearing an embroidered shirt. Is that correct?
I think
Is
so,
he the
yeah.
one that-
Yeah.
So he got his shirt embroidered at Mr. Stitcher, which is now owned by Daniel Puerto in
Yes,
the,
sir.
The St. Louis area.
He works for Daniel Puerto.
Oh, he does?
Yeah.
Okay, all right. Well, shout out to Daniel Puerto. Definitely one of the good guys in the industry. Always trying to make things better. Thank you, Daniel.
So what's Mike Kahn got left here? I have such a hard time seeing. Dennis Hacker's got the right idea, bringing binoculars.
Looks like he's got 185 with a strike in the ninth. Is that, am I seeing
Yeah,
that right?
so 245. So Mike
245.
Kahn could get to 164 over. Don't forget, tomorrow morning we'll be back with you with our B Squad qualifying. Sorry, the first squad of the day tomorrow. We'll be B Squad qualifying at 8 a.m. Eastern Time. We'll have 3 squads for you tomorrow, 21 total games in all.
Mike, is this a straight up beat the board? Or is there
It is.
is a top qualifier from each squad get anything? Or is that.
But just to beat the board, just to
Okay.
come out, enter as many times as you want, and then take all your pins over to Sunday morning.
There you go. And then on Sunday morning you bowl
4 games, pins
4
carry
games?
over.
Okay.
Yep, and then we cut to the
Cut
top
to the top
12.
12.
Yep,
And then it's
Round robin.
Round robin.
yep. 30
Right.
bonus pins awarded, and then the top 5 bowls traditional step ladder, and then we have a champion.
You said that starts at like 7 o'clock?
7 o'clock.
Oh.
We may start a little early this year.
You'll be texting me the champion
Yeah.
name.
In the past, we've always did like a whole set where we actually assembled a set as best as we could, but because of the travel requirements and moving, we're just gonna set our cameras and kind of go.
Okay.
So Mike Kahn throws the first one in the 10th frame. He's going to be your tournament leader, Mike Kahn. This is the last pair that we have bowling right now. These
232.
2 pairs. Yeah, so 232 for Mike Kahn. He
So
finishes
plus
at
151. Is that right?
no, yeah, 151 is right. Yeah, Mike Kahn's your leader, 151 over. Right there. Blue, white, and green. Here's Scott Gilmore. What's that? Yeah. Scott Gilmore, minus 52. Gilmore bowling with Mike Haggett. Just right next door, we also have, we'll bring them to you next, Eric Bader, Park and Brandt. I think it's Brandt Parkin, actually, as sometimes the names in here throw me a little bit. Where is he? Brandt, or Josh Brandt? Josh Brandt Parkin? Josh Parkin? Josh
Brandt Parkin.
Yeah, I guess that's it. Josh Brandt Parkin.
Yep.
So tournament's underway. We got games in play. We got people finished. .208 for Scott Gilmore. Mike Haggett here. Let's see if we can pick up to 6, 7, 10. Just to end the day here. No, take you over our other pair that's finishing up. See you, Kyle. Kyle Troop leaving. Three frames to go. I want to thank you, Ken, for sitting in on this squad with me, keeping me company.
You know, I've been silent a lot, and that's, you know.
You'll go back and listen to it, though.
There's been some really interesting information revealed during these 7 games. So, a lot of smart people in the bowling industry.
Yeah, and we keep an open door for people to come sit in and join us. And
Mike, I want to thank you for, oh, look at that. The
baby split the hard way.
baby split the hard way. Yep. Mike,
Bouncing
thank you for running this this event. Thanks to Mark and his team at Western Bowl for hosting it. Thanks to Evanite International for their support. Thanks to all the bowlers and everyone out there watching.
Yeah, and I always like to throw in there as well Kegel. I absolutely love me some Kegel.
Thank you to Kegel.
Doug Dukes coming out, oiling these lanes, bringing the lane machine all the way from Delaware, just overhauled 2 flex machines. He's got them here. They're working brilliantly. I know the pattern, lane to lane, has been applied exactly the same, thanks to the folks at Kegel. Hey, if you own a bowling center, or you bowl in a bowling center, make sure you go up to the front desk and ask what kind of lane conditioners that you use on the lanes and what type of lane machine oils your lanes. We suggest Kegel. They care about bowling. They dedicate thousands upon thousands of dollars and countless hours and energy with time away from their families to go out and make sure that the playing conditions put out in some of the biggest tournaments in the world are done correctly. That's how Kegel gives back to the sport, so make sure you give back to Kegel and make sure when you're bowling in your bowling center that you're bowling on Kegel lane oil, Kegel lane conditioner, and stripper put down by a Kegel lane machine.
Hey, Mike, Nicholas wants to know if the pace of play is on par with what you thought it would be.
Yes, it is. I would say that it is.
And Chris Hester has checked in that he is off to bed. He'll see us tomorrow.
Okay.
Get a good night's sleep.
Absolutely. We got started a little bit later tonight just because of weather, but we knew it would be a light squad, so we've been on the air for just over 3 hours, 3 hours and 7 minutes, and we're going to conclude the broadcast here in just a moment.
That's why you zooming in on me. So, Mike, how much of this do you have to take apart tonight?
None. Or I don't think they have one. You can put it in our room. That's fine. We don't break any of it down.
Okay.
We throw sheets over it and call it a day.
Good.
All right. That's the last shot on the lanes here. Bring it into the booth. I'm going to show you that rookie mistake. Throw this over right there.
That's what you told me to do.
I know.
I'm the rookie.
No, I screwed it up.
Oh.
You did it. I didn't have mine ready to go.
Yeah.
I looked like, I don't know, Brent Musburger. Somebody like that.
Okay.
But yeah, hey, we want to thank everybody for watching tonight's broadcast. I want to thank Ken for spending 6 games with me in the booth. That was a long time.
It's been a pleasure.
Yeah, it's been fun.
It's very interesting how the lanes transitioned and how the scoring developed. So, after the first game or two, there was after the second game, I would say, then the people that were bowling well definitely made a separation there. you know. But after the first 2 games, it looked like it was going to be kind of like a lot of people were going to be you know, in the hunt. So
Yeah, Mike Kahn bowled a 300 game. You know, that was a big deal.
yeah,
Mike Kahn 300, and he leads the squad. 151 over, I believe it was.
yeah,
And
outstanding.
Brad Miller plus, Jordan Richard plus, Gasson plus. Nobody else plus. So
And I believe the 300 game was in the third or
fourth
fourth game.
Fourth game.
So he was minus 36 or
I think
34,
so, yeah,
something like that.
in that range,
so he was
yeah.
minus before that. So he
Yeah.
was plus 180 for the last 4,
Yep.
thereabouts.
Pretty good. And he moved in on the flying V.
Yeah, he was one of the first to move in.
Yeah. So
So-
we'll see how it plays. Normally this pattern plays out, but this year maybe a little bit different. So we want to make sure that you join us tomorrow morning, beginning at 8 a.m. We will be back with another 7 games, the B squad, and we'll be back with C squad and D squad, and Sunday as well, all day and all evening. Ken, thanks again. Thanks to Logo Infusion for sponsoring the event.
Proud to be here.
I'm sure you'll be back in tomorrow. Maybe we'll give Brandon an opportunity as well. I know he's a fan favorite when he gets a chance to sit in the booth too. So
Yeah.
don't forget you can save 20% over at Logo Infusion and with coupon code IBOPEN17, IBOPEN17, all the way through the end of May, I was informed. So that's great.
Yes.
And make sure when you consider your next bowling ball purchase, you consider an Ebonite International product. So for everyone here at Western Bowl, my entire tournament staff here, Ken, Doug Dukes, and all the folks at Ebonite International, I'm Mike Flanagan. I'd like to thank you for watching tonight. And we will see you tomorrow here from Western Bowl here in Indianapolis. Good night, everybody.
Okay, good night.